Just a real quick one. I want to thank Salem and someone else, I can't remember who it was, brought up the fact that the school budget for tax purposes is 75% of our budget. And thank you for bringing that up publicly. And I go to a lot of those meetings. Most of the time there's absolutely nobody there. Yeah. Maybe once or twice there's one or two people there, but just I wanted to thank you for that, and so that I forgot who brought it up. I know it was discussed, but you're right. It's 75% of the budget, and nobody's ever at any of those meetings. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Anybody else? No? Okay. We'll go to the manifest. We've got a public hearing at 7 o'clock, so we're going to move around a little bit.
He's not even here.
Is that?
He's not even here.
Right. Public hearing? Yeah, I know. Going to order the treasurer to sign payroll accounts payables checks dated July 13th, 2023, as including the following manifest. A payroll manifest of $80,520.41 for weekly payroll. Accounts payable manifest of $123,174.43 for a total of $203,694.84. The following manifests were previously ordered to be signed at the May 29th meeting of the board. A payroll manifest of $71,255.90 for checks dated 7/6. Accounts payable manifest of $72,844.58, checks dated 7/6. And a supplemental accounts payable manifest of $15,008.75, checks dated 7/6. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All right. We can probably plug away at some minutes. I don't know, where's that going to bring us to, though?
Can I jump ahead to a correspondence that should be pretty quick while Jason's here?
Yeah, sure.
So I appreciate that. I had a neighbor of mine, so I live on Duck Pond Road. I had a neighbor of mine also on Duck Pond Road asking, hey, what is going on with Duck Pond? She takes what are now very short walks and was kind of disappointed at the state of the pond. I reached out to Jason and said, hey, and he was already on it. And so I just wanted, and I asked if he was fine with me repeating our conversation. He said that was fine. He already has a plan. He'll come detail us when some more boxes are checked. But just want to let people know, because other people have come and spoken at the podium publicly. We are working on Duck Pond. Jason's working on Duck Pond.
Yeah.
So,
I believe the Conservation Committee is going to be adding that to their agenda too.
okay.
Okay, good. All right. What we got? Oh, we still got quite with let's do the Eagle Scout presentation. Recognize Benny.
You have to speak right into the microphone, don't be shy. Okay. Hello, my name is Ben Lanier, and I'm a senior patrol leader for Troop 24 and a sophomore at John Stark High School. I'm here tonight to present my Eagle project idea to the board. These past few years, I picked up skateboarding and really enjoyed it. I have a few things I build at home with my dad, such as a slide rail to practice some tricks. I would really like to improve on our town skate park so that kids like me can meet there and practice and hang out. I also have noticed that our skate park could be safer for kids that are just starting out, or they may need more gradual ramp to practice on. I am proposing to build a new half-pipe ramp in an empty area in the skate park. I think this would really have a big impact on the park and the community. I would like to build a ramp that is 3 feet tall, 12 feet wide, and 24 feet long. The park has plenty of room for a ramp this size, and I would go bigger, but costs will play a big role in this for me. I will be building this ramp myself with the help of some adults, and I hope to start this October of this year. I'll be using pressure-treated lumber and plywood with exterior paint. I will be adding a back railing to the platforms as a backstop. We want this to be a safe and welcome addition to the skate park. I would like to know if there is a need for a building permit and inspections. I plan to close the skate park to the public for at least one weekend in October, if not 2 or 3. I want to make sure the public is safe and stays away from the building site. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Board have any questions, or?
So we discussed this at our most recent park meeting, and really, I guess, Benny, the only question I have is, have you looked at the water situation down there, and how did that turn out?
Yeah, we saw, there's like, a lot of water, gets built up in like that empty space of the skate park. There's not really anything I can do because there's no room, like, for me to build it anywhere else. And like, I'm gonna try to build it, with blocks underneath so that water doesn't like rot and damage the underneath the ramp. But the problem about that is that people might like stick things on underneath the ramp, so I need to figure out like how to block that. But I'm gonna try to use like 4-inch concrete blocks to try to hold it up.
Yeah, I think that about sums up where we were.
Okay.
It's gotta be lifted, but stuff can go into there.
So, is this the proposed ramp?
Yeah.
So the proposed ramp shows it sitting on, I mean, these are precast concrete blocks that you can buy to build any kind of a deck. You can buy them in any hardware store, Home Depot type thing. So this is what you'd be planning on raising it with?
Yeah, that's like something that we would do. It doesn't have to be exactly like that type of concrete block, but we should probably do like some type of cinder block
Yeah,
underneath.
the only reason I personally like these corner blocks is because they are designed to lock it, so it won't move.
Yeah,
They're, in the precast, there's a depression, so your horizontal member sits in it, so it locks it there. 'Cause if you- I mean, this is gonna vibrate, and if it vibrates, it's gonna move, so you're gonna wanna somehow secure it so it doesn't fall off of that. Excuse me, apologize about that. And then the back rail, I'd be really curious to see just a detailed drawing of that.
okay.
We'll need, we're obviously, this is, as you say, you want to protect the public, but we'll have to make sure that this meets requirements for our insurer.
Yeah,
Because we don't, I think it might be in part why we don't have something where you stand at an elevated position like that with no backdrop, okay?
mhm.
There's a liability risk.
I think, Ben, you had pictures in there of one of the existing ramps that's still left, the red one.
Oh, yeah,
That's the similar railing idea you proposed to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should
It just
be a
need to be
picture there.
reviewed because it's a new feature in
Mhm.
Primex. Yeah, seems like a great idea. I have no questions.
Any questions on this kind of table? Ben?
No, I guess, you just need to get back to us about the railing.
Yeah.
And, what kind of blocks, if that's a concern about, see if there's any price range.
Okay.
I guess while you have the podium right now, speaking to everybody watching on TV and whatnot, it's your chance to fundraise a little bit.
Oh,
So if anybody wants to donate, what can they do to reach you?
I'm not totally sure what I'm doing for fundraising yet. I'm pretty sure.
Put something on the park page, right, Janine? Yeah, we can post it on.
Oh yeah, I was
social media
gonna post it on like
and tell them about your
Facebook and
donor.
stuff. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna have a plaque on it too with like I'm gonna have, I think somebody's donating. What's her name again?
Tina Trudell, Sweet Realtor. Yep.
Yeah, she's donating a lot of money, so I'm gonna try to put a plaque on the ramp for her. I'm also probably gonna put a plaque on the ramp saying that this is an Eagle Scout project and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get any donations on social media and see if that will work.
Yeah, again, I'm just gonna echo the concerns that I think Kevin had, is just the railing, making sure that it's compliant. As far as inspections, I would think it would be more of an end all, you know, just before you're done, there'd be some kind of inspection, take a look. And again, it's just the town liability part of it, that's all. I mean, I'm in favor of the project, but I just wanna make sure that the town's liability is obviously not there for us. So, if it comes, you gotta, you know, put up on blocks again, or if it's on the ground, the rail. So I guess we just have to contact our insurance company just to make sure that all the i's are dotted and t's are crossed. So,
Yeah, it's just a final review.
Just
It'll
a
be
final
the-
review,
It'll be the
right.
spacing between the rails. It'll be
That's
things like that.
basically all it is,
Just so
yeah.
that you don't
Yeah.
get it completed and then all of a sudden we say, hang on, it's sitting there, but don't use it because you need to make these
because we need to make some
modifications.
alterations,
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah, we'd hate to see you have to go over there 3, 4, 5 times more than you need to, so, other than to use it, that's all, so, but,
So that skateboard park was donated to, in memory of the little boy that lost his life at 5.
Yeah, Spadero.
Several years ago. He
Yep.
would have been,
oh, he'd
probably
been,
been 30-something.
yeah, I guess, yeah, early.
So I
30s.
don't wanna lose track of, I don't have a say, I guess, but I
Right.
don't have a problem with a plaque and a donation, but I don't think we wanna lose sight of the original
Intent,
sign and the intent of the family was, cause that was his, he was 5. He was 5.
Yeah.
That was his favorite thing.
right.
So I just don't wanna lose sight. There used to
Right.
be a big blue.
There was a large blue sign, yeah.
Memorial.
Question, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah,
so that
I haven't
really
seen it in a
needs to
while
be
either.
back, cause the family's still in
Because
town.
if that's on the fence and then Ben's was on his actual ramp,
Sure.
then it
Yeah.
would be, you know.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's,
don't
I
wanna
was thinking
take
it's gonna be
away
right on
from
the
fact
ramp,
That it
yeah.
was in memory of
If
a
we
young
could get
boy.
that information,
Sure.
we could, you could add a plaque.
Yep.
And Janine, if the plaque isn't around over there and you don't have it stored anywhere, then maybe we need to make another plaque up.
Right.
Yeah,
I
or
don't
another
think-
sign.
I don't
Wasn't
think-
it wasn't-
It was like a road
It was a
sign.
big metal.
It was a big
sign.
aluminum, like metal
Yeah,
sign,
we've
yeah.
been able to order signs that we need
Okay.
that, so absolutely we'll
All right.
be able to do that.
Parks input,
Yep, so. we
in
met-
favor?
Yep, we met with Ben and it was absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
We,
yeah.
nobody can hear you from.
Yeah,
home.
we've heard.
So Benji met with us with Parks and Recreation, and it was absolutely in favor.
Okay.
We're definitely, what Salem had touched base on about the water
Mm-hmm.
and the railing as well, and he definitely talked about it with us, so we're very pleased to approve his project.
Okay, very good.
So who's gonna reach out to insurance?
I think
do.
the liaison would be Naomi. Yeah, just
making sure.
Just to confirm, I mean, maybe we can just
then-
scan the document over and have them take a look at it real quick. I think that'd probably be the easiest to get the ball rolling.
This way I'll need
Yep.
one.
So I guess given the scope that you're talking about, you know, it's not shutting it down, it's a railing, whatnot, so we
Right.
can allow them to keep going.
Yeah, yeah,
and then we'll-
absolutely.
And then we'll come in and say, hey, this is what the railing needs
I
to
think
be
it may
like,
just be-
as you get to that point.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tweaks and alterations, that's all. So, that's all I thought, yeah. Okay.
There's just
Saying it out
there'll be a
loud.
minimum height.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, anything else from the board?
Nope.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Which brings us right to the 7 o'clock hour, pretty much.
All right, it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is a complaint. I want to see the person.
That's true. Yep, there it is. That looks better.
It has to
Okay.
cover that outlet.
Yes. Oh, that spot's gonna be, that makes sense. All right. So, brings us to the 7 o'clock hour, where we're going to hold a public hearing. Yep. We're going to hold a public hearing for comment and public testimony on the Comcast franchise renewal agreement for 2023 to 2030.
Give me a second.
No.
No, I am.
If you're
all
looking
you.
for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, my name is Brian Christensen. I'm
Director of Government Affairs for Comcast. With me today is Monica Tebow. She's also in Government Affairs. Today is her first day on the job, so be kind.
No pressure.
So be kind, so she comes back tomorrow, because I really need her help. I was here, I think, June 19th, and we discussed the franchise renewal, and he asked me to come back for your public hearing as required by both federal and state law. I know you're required to hear your community's concerns, and I will respond if appropriate, and individual consumer concerns, questions, I'd probably take offline.
Okay.
Their privacy and so forth. So,
Okay, very good.
thank you.
You didn't push her up there to do that, no? First day, I mean. So,
Just enjoyed dinner at Dimitri's, so.
perfect. All right, does the board have any comments regarding it? I know Salem, you had a couple of
Yeah,
things
I
last
can
time.
run through them again real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
So, I guess the number one thing is, it's very clear in the documentation that this is non-exclusive. So, for anybody who thinks we're signing a binding agreement with Comcast, we are not. If another cable company decides that they'd like to come do business with Ware, they can approach us. They can run their own lines and whatnot. So this is, like I say, non-exclusive. And then a few things, I should have put these all on one page at this point. This is the third cut at this. It's very non-exclusive. Yep, and we made a modification. So the previous agreement, which ended in 2022, excuse me, said that unserved homes located within 150 feet of the franchisee's distribution cable, basically, and I'm going to summarize, and you nod if I'm correct, you would have gotten 150 foot from a pole to your house for free, and we talked about that last time, and it's going to be 300 feet, which was the
Standard,
Comcast.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were doing anyway, but now it's in the document. I guess another big thing, and I'll just skip it when I get to it, is that if your cable is out for 24 hours or more, you can call Comcast and they will prorate you a refund. So I'm just making sure everybody's aware of that. There you go, section 7.2. And otherwise, I think we will be leveraging a few of these sections just to make sure, like there's one about, sorry. Basically, it says we can, no more frequently than annually, review the performance. And that's kind of similar to this. Individuals can come up and give us input, and we can say, is Comcast abiding by this agreement? And of course, Comcast would be there as well. So that's an annual, yes, this is a 7-year agreement. If there are significant grievances, we do have, I guess, mechanisms to address that.
Yeah.
I think that's, yeah, that's all, let's see. Yep, that's all I wanted to say.
And did we talk about channel 17 also?
A little bit internally.
So we will see a final draft of this amended?
I did send a final draft to
Okay.
the town administrator, I think the next day, that had the 300. If I may, I can kind of elaborate a little bit more on what Salem
Sure.
Bloom said. We're also providing the 2-peg channels. The town's electing to select 3% franchise fee that we collect from the subscribers and remit to the town. And there's a $30,000 capital grant that we'll make, so. I know you were on the spot there, so I was thinking of them.
Yeah,
as you
and,
were
No,
going.
that's-
yeah, and
that's-
to talk about
That's
that.
definitely worth mentioning.
Yeah, so we've talked, and there are more and more committees, specifically, Park meets at the same time as the cable committee, and we only have one room with one TV.
Right.
And the school has not been using the second channel that
17, yeah.
17.
that is part of this, part of the previous agreement, and will continue to be part of this agreement. So we've talked about potentially spending or at least part of the $30,000 that will come with signing this new agreement on outfitting a second room in this building to allow for 2 meetings to happen at the same time and to be broadcast on TV at the same time.
Thank you.
I have a question for the fire chief. Municipal buildings listed under the courtesy drops does not include the South Ware Fire Station. This is a 7-year contract. Would it be in the town's best interest to drop one at South Ware Fire Station, looking into the future?
Yes, that would be.
Okay, thank you.
I think there's a provision in there that says any other future
Okay.
town buildings that come up, so.
It's been there for a few days, so.
Did you say a few days?
A few days, yeah, yeah, probably like 1991, so.
Okay, and that
I just-
probably was just a,
Yeah, I'm just thinking,
omission.
where this is a 7-year contract, or, yeah, I just want to make sure that that building is covered in anticipation of growth, that's all. I think it's already there, to be honest with you, but I just want to make sure it's documented, that's all.
I'm flipping through right now, if you,
Page 42.
Yeah, it's page 42.
yeah. Yeah, look at that. May I ask the actual address, or,
700,
okay.
70 something? I don't remember what the exact address is.
Yeah, so,
It's, yeah, it's,
well, we can put it in there.
yeah, if we could. It's South Stark Highway, I know that,
If the board so chooses to accept this tonight, maybe
Okay.
just accept as amended.
as amended, okay. All
We'll
right,
insert it into the final draft.
okay, appreciate it. Yeah, it's like 790 something, I think. Right, we just drive there, so. All right, any other board members have any comments, concerns? I know Salem's race,
No,
Yes.
that's everything we reviewed.
yeah. All right, I will open the floor to the, oh,
We got an email from out of town. I don't want to spend a huge amount of time on it.
yeah, I really, and again, it's an out of town, so
Yeah.
I don't really know what the
I didn't-
iron
I
and
didn't
fire
find
is
it
there.
in here.
Well, I didn't find
Yeah.
it applicable to the agreement.
Well, except that it's an agreement between the town, which it is all residents.
Right, but town residents,
Yeah.
so, I mean, is it?
But if we are making an agreement with them and if we are trying to act in the best interest of all residents,
Mhm.
it was kind of
Okay.
like, well, I can
Yeah.
at least ask the question, how.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Propose
No,
it.
go ahead. They're there.
So, yeah, we received an email, and again, I don't want to really belabor it. The summary is, somebody was receiving calls from Comcast soliciting, hey, will you please sign up for our service? And that person reached out to Comcast and was ignored because they are not a subscriber. And that person said, hey, maybe it should be in your agreement that if a resident contacts the company, they will be abided by.
Unsubscribed.
Unsubscribed.
I'm not sure so,
This was.
can you summarize what the
It's-
concern
It was
was?
the marketing arm of Comcast.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
reaching out to this person repeatedly.
Yep.
And,
Who was not a subscriber, but a resident of a Comcast community.
Okay,
and
So-
that person was saying, please stop calling me, and Comcast did not stop calling.
Right.
If they are to be believed in all those caveats.
yeah, and obviously there's the federal do not call list.
Right.
And within our system, we definitely we can mark addresses that say non-marketable for that reason.
reason.
So,
Okay. So there is avenues built in.
oh, absolutely.
So for our residents,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you outsource some of that marketing?
Can I answer it?
No, I said, do you outsource it?
Uh,
Like a marketing company?
Yes and no. Like, we would outsource if we're mailing something. Like, obviously, we don't have in-house printing and that sort of stuff. We would outsource it in that direction. But we definitely have outbound sales, where their job is to call people and try to get them to sign up. But as I said, if there is, 7-Eleven Stark Highway, if that was described as do not call me, in fact, we have to go through training on the do not call list. That would be marked do not call. So, we can, if Ms. Bolton wanted to send me that address, I can certainly check out that address. I know they're not technically a resident, but you guys can be
It
responsible
actually
all the
wasn't in
same.
our town.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, but
right
I can
now,
still,
so.
I can still check the address, but we definitely have a mechanism to mark things as non-marketable. And there's the federal do not call registry as well, that we obviously abide by.
I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything from the board? And open the floor to the public for comment. Don't all jump at once. Just come up to the podium, please. That's all I request. And just state your name, please.
Yeah, Sean Hickey, 424 Reservoir Drive. One question for Comcast. You can't bundle your phone, your internet, and your TV here because of Granite State, is that correct?
That is correct.
Can't we do anything about that?
That was discussed at the last meeting we were
It's a
here, and it was
federal law
That's a
where-
federal law. He can touch upon that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because that's, would be nice.
because we raised the same question.
Okay, thank you.
Because we've heard it before, and
it's
obviously
been years, right?
experienced it ourselves.
So this gives me an opportunity to correct the record a little bit. Last time I was here, I called them an ILEC, an independent local exchange carrier. They're actually an RLEC, a rural local exchange carrier. That was one of those things that woke me up in the middle of the night at one point. So they are protected, I'm going to be kind of succinct, they're protected in federal law from competition. There's a mechanism to try to make an interconnection agreement where you can exchange telephone traffic. And I think I said this last time, we have tried in the past. We hadn't, I don't know when the last time we tried. I can't tell you it was last year or the year before. Representatives of the company weren't exactly welcoming in that response. You can go through a whole litigation process to do that, but you have to prove that your service is not going to put them at a disadvantage. And we have not undertaken that litigation process. But we can, as I think I indicated 2-3 weeks ago, we can extend the olive branch again and see if it's something they would be interested in doing.
So it's the rural what?
Rural local exchange carrier.
Okay.
So, independent local exchange carrier is the other, and that's what I called them last time.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, with that, I'll close the public hearing.
I'll
Yes,
make
sir.
a motion to accept it as amended.
There's a motion on the floor. Is it seconded?
With the amendment being the addition of the Southware Firehouse
On page 42,
on page 42.
under the courtesy
and-
drops.
300.
Yep, and we are accepting that the amended of 300 foot was
Okay, so-
already submitted.
We
Okay.
are assuming that the amended copy does include,
For 300 feet.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so he's gonna need to amend it again to include the drop at 706.
right.
Yeah,
We don't have-
797.
So we don't have,
Yeah.
If I may, I would, because the new drop is on a separate page than the signature page, so typically what would happen is the board would sign it, Naomi would send it to me, we'd countersign it, and on the, on page 42, we'd make sure that was added.
On there, listed. Okay.
okay.
And then the 300 foot that he mentioned,
and
which you already altered,
I
you
think,
said.
yeah, I think I
Okay.
submitted that already, but
Okay.
if that's not on the draft you have, that'll obviously be in the fully executed draft, or fully executed document.
All right.
I
There's a mo-
guess personally, I would just like to see the draft before I approve it. We're not gonna get a second look, right?
Well, I guess, but that's the mechanism of approving as amended, or. yeah,
Approving as amended, yeah.
That's-
Yeah. I think that's, again, with
Okay,
with
fair
those
enough.
two listed in the motion, I think we're covered.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, any other discussion? Was there a second?
Yeah.
There was a second. Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. What copy do you want, Naomi? Mine?
Is the back page clean?
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you folks for coming out, appreciate it. See? It's not that bad, don't run away yet.
We all live locally, so.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Naomi, if you just want to stand for
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll change that. We'll have to, the date's wrong on the top. Naomi.
All right, then you can't.
Yeah, so we'll get a new copy and we'll just pop in and sign it. Okay.
The new revised copy,
Yes.
please.
Final.
Yes,
I'm not
final,
signing
final.
it until I see it.
Final, yep.
Naomi, can this vent be tipped up?
Directed up.
Can you do
And
that?
turn it down.
Shut it off, doesn't matter.
Just blowing down on my neck and shoulders.
Just blowing my papers over to Benji.
It's not that easy, but there's a whole bunch of different modes and
Oh, you can change the vein right there, yeah. There you go.
Should do it.
Now, does that get to you?
it doesn't matter.
Does that help you, Naomi?
If my nose
does it make it
starts
worse?
running, I'll pick up and.
Okay,
go
there we go,
and-
yeah. Figured you'd take care of that. Uh-huh. So, all right, we did that one. All right, department head committee items. Recognize interim fire chief Chris Olson.
The board, how you doing tonight? Thank you so much for putting me on the agenda. I appreciate that. I'm Christopher Olson. I'm your interim fire chief. And last month, I had the permission, I asked for permission to come to the board and start, conversations about a nice transition from the fire wards to the select board. So I am here to do an introduction and kind of really open it up to you folks to find out what questions you have for the transition. And I'm speaking on behalf of the fire department as well as the fire wards tonight. So if I can answer some questions or concerns or anything, I obviously open it up after I'm finished and to all of you, and I will write these down, or if I have answers, I'll give them to you. If I don't have complete answers, I will get back to you on that in the next meeting. The assistant chief and I plan on coming to these meetings from now on, just to be here and to support the board as much as we can moving forward so we can have a nice transition. Transition is not happening until March, right? So I think this is a great opportunity for us all to get together and if we have any questions or any concerns on how or what it looks like for the transition for the town, for one board dissolving and then one board taking up the responsibilities and the roles of the fire department, then I'm certainly be glad to do that and be here on that behalf. Any questions before I start? Any questions at all?
I'll let you do your piece, and then
All
I'm
right.
sure there'll be questions afterwards.
All right. So usually when we start a transition like this, it takes time, and obviously it's a year that it takes legally. We do follow the laws, and 154 is what we're going to be following here, most likely, the RSA, and that's about the organization of the fire department and who controls it and how it works and what the board's responsibilities are. And that is, we can go in depth further with that. I mean, we have the books to offer you folks. And what I'll do later on is I'll make some copies of the pages and give that to you folks. So that sets the tone right there, and what the agreement's going to be on what section and how 154 is going to work. There's many sections in there and how it works. So we'll go down that road when we have to. So really, basically, we're very similar. It's public safety, so we're very similar to the police department. Usually what the fire department would do, the fire chief will come in and give a report, a fire chief's report, and in that fire chief's report, we'll give all of you folks the day-to-day operations of what we do, what has transpired since the last meeting. From usually, we start out usually with personnel. That's our greatest asset. And then from there, we look into our apparatus for our equipment. And then we talk about our facilities, and we talk about any kind of training or any upcoming training or anything that is involving the town or approval from you folks. That's just the day-to-day stuff, and in that is quite a bit of information that we're going to give you. I usually take about 45 minutes to an hour, maybe, talking about all those things, but I can certainly streamline it, or the chief can certainly streamline it, the assistant chief, to offer you maybe a smaller version of it. So really, all the SOPs and SOGs in the past which are standing operating procedures, standing operating guidelines. Those are our rules and regulations of the fire department. Really, the fire wards took on the task to do those. And quite frankly, the officers of the department, myself, usually the ones that recommend what they are, and then we present them. We usually present them in an officers meeting. After that, when they look like they're ready to be presented to the board, we do so, and we'll present it to you folks for the approval. Most of the SOPs and SOGs are probably going to be pretty much finished, but they're dynamic, and meaning they will change. SOGs can change because it's a guideline, where SOPs, which are policies, usually don't. Those are your administrative policies usually. That's pretty much straight now, and they usually don't change. But SOGs, fighting fires, fighting different, well, now electrical cars, things change. Things change, so we need to make those change as well. So, and any changes that happen in the fire department is brought up to this board. So really, anything that the fire department is going to do, this board will know. Just like the fire wards right now, they know exactly what's going on with the fire department, because that's my job as the CEO of the fire department, if you will, as the fire chief. I come in and I give everything that we do from day to day to the fire wards, so they know what's going on. They know the personnel, they know how many we have, anybody on injury leave, from vacation leave to swaps to anything they want to talk about. They will know. There is no, it's total transparency. They will know everything about the fire department, so won't you. That's what I continue, that's what I'm sure the chief's going to continue with you folks, and I'm pretty excited about that. So there isn't really no secrets in terms of any of those items. So really, documentation, you will receive documentation from ourselves to you. I usually furnish a packet. A packet is usually pretty thick about what we do through the month. It's quite a bit we do in the fire department in a month. You will know what our personnel is doing, what our apparatus is, our aging apparatus, what our facility is doing, and you'll know what kind of training's on board. You'll know pretty much everything. And in that packet, we'll say that. And I just basically, I prepare that packet for you folks so that you really have the beat of the fire department. And that's our goal. Our goal is to make sure that you know everything, because by you doing that, you can ask really informed questions, and that's what we need to have. We need to have a good dialogue with you folks, just like we have with the fire wards, and the dialogue needs to be a two-way street, and it needs to come from you and me also to you. So it really works out really well. I don't think that this transition is going to be a really tough transition. I think it has started in many ways in terms of the board. Now, if there's any questions that you have pertaining to the fire department, not a problem. If there's any questions on the transition part, there really is not much other than we just want to make sure that it's smooth going in terms of is there any liability that you have? Does the RSA speak of liability? Does the RSA talk about how the organization is put together? Does the RSA talk about who's going to be in charge? What roles does the board play? What roles does the chairperson play? How does this work? Can you come to the fire department? Can you meet with us, not just a monthly basis, but can you come into the house? Obviously, it's a public house. You always can do that. So can't the public. It's their house. So there's many things, and we just want to open it up to you folks. We figured I'd come here today just really looking at you and telling you we want a smooth transition, obviously, and that echoes what the fire wards are telling me. They want a nice transition, and they want to make sure that it's seamless and that the concerns are dealt with before the transition happens, if there are any concerns or any questions dealt with. I hope I can answer any of the questions and go from there. So other than that, that's all I really had for tonight, just to introduce, the transition start. And I plan, like I said, to come to the meetings. And if you have any questions for me or the chief or the assistant chief, I'd be glad to help out and answer.
I think, like you said, is the transition from the day-to-day will be pretty straightforward and boilerplate. I think that obviously, to Sloak and Cahill's point in the past is, that first point of liaison is the town administrator before it comes to us. So I think that I just don't want to sidestep that critical role. The other thing is, and that rolls back to personnel and injuries, et cetera, like you were speaking of. I think she would be your front line on that one. My concern with previously serving on the Board of Fire Wards as well, would be the rules and regulations that they have set forth for driveways, et cetera, and their role in that, and who's going to absorb that. That would be my concern. Again, I think the day-to-day, obviously the budget stuff, that's easy, that's us. You know, the day-to-day information can go through the town administrator to us, et cetera. But I think that role and responsibility that they've had specifically is really where my concern lays as far as this easy transition. Also, too, is the building department / who's going to do the inspections. Are they going to, you know, now it's going to be kind of under one roof, that both the fire chief or inspector and the building inspector are going to be answering to this board, you know, how that harmony is going to work. If it's not already working flawlessly now, how it's going to work in the future. So those are just my concerns that I can see on the face value. There'll be obviously trip hazards here and there as we go, growing pains, I'm sure, but they'll be easy to work through, I think, just because, you know, we already do work pretty well together as two boards.
Right.
So, anybody else have any questions for the chief?
Yeah, I do. So the frequency of the detailed updates, so these are administrative updates. How often does the board meet now?
The board meets once a month, and we plan on meeting now at least 2 times a month, just so that, because we want to get this transition in a forward motion. So we'll meet every 2
So will we
weeks.
simultaneously, like, so, let's just use a once-a-month scenario. So the existing Board of Fire Wards will meet, and then will we be updated onto the status of that meeting, like, say, in the following month?
We certainly can do that, or the following week. We certainly can do that if you,
It's just gonna have to, it's gonna have to work per our, you know, we're every other week with a meeting such as this, which I'm sure would be the meeting that you'd want to make that presentation.
right.
Trying not to take on any other business during our working meetings.
Yeah.
So if it could, basically, so it's not old news, it would be no longer than a 2-week gap.
Correct.
I think that would be the day-to-day operations that Chairman Hippler talks about, sorting that out, you know, the responsibilities of breaching inspections for new furnaces and things like that. That isn't a responsibility of this board anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
okay, I look forward to our first update.
All right, great, thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I guess, when do you anticipate that first monthly packet that you're talking about?
That would be when you folks take over in March, but I mean, I can certainly furnish it anytime for you. I have one for the fire wards. I can just
Yeah,
furnish it
I'd
to you
love to see
folks too
one.
as well. Yeah, for sure. I have 2 of them already built out, and I always give a packet every time.
Okay.
It's just a lot of information.
Okay.
Yeah, Chief, I would assume that when we have, whatever information is given to the fire ward in the meeting that's the 2 weeks prior to you
Correct.
meeting with us.
Correct.
We'll receive the exact same information.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Electronically, right?
Yes, sir. We can certainly do that,
Yeah,
absolutely.
electronically.
Everything
that's
is,
for us.
yep,
Yeah.
everything is in a
He
packet.
usually gives me a hard copy, and I can just scan it all and send it as one file versus all of the documents.
Okay.
He always brings me a copy.
Well, I
We
mean,
talk
if
about
the
things.
chief already has a copy he's given to you, I'm sure he's got it saved electronically and send it to us.
Yeah,
Individually, though.
Yeah.
To individual attachments. I was just gonna run them through
Oh,
one
okay.
thing.
I got you, all right.
Because he puts it together nicely, in order,
Okay.
and he brings me a packet.
Either or.
And if the existing board wants to have a collaborative session at some point,
That'd probably be beneficial.
that would be really beneficial for us, you know, to kind of, whatever.
yeah, I think that would be fantastic. They just gave me permission really to come here and say hello and, you know, greet you folks and say that we want a nice transition, and they would absolutely applaud that to meet together before their time is
Oh, yeah,
dissolved.
absolutely. Yeah, even if we do it, I mean, we're 8 months out, 10 months out, so if we did it a couple of times, because there's going to be a steep learning curve here for us. So, sure, if you want to schedule them every few months, that'd be good.
Beautiful.
2 more. when you first spoke, it's been a month or two now, you talked, in my head, it was a 6-month kind of a training period for bringing on the full-time replacement chief.
Yes, sir.
So how is that process going?
Yeah, the mentorship program, yes. So I think it's going very well. We had a captain, and now we have an assistant fire chief, so we moved him up to the ranks of assistant fire chief so we can get closer to his roles and responsibilities. It's great. We're starting to work on the budget right now. We're going over some inspections, and I have the answer for you, sir, in a minute. But we're going over inspections, and there's quite a bit of stuff that we do. Obviously, the day-to-day information, the personnel, he's right there with me. Everything that I do, he basically shadows. So we're always together. Any decisions that I make right now as the interim fire chief, all the officers know. So we have officers meetings, and we have officers meetings before. We try to have it before the fire awards, so if there's any concerns. So he's part of that too as well. But there is not a decision that I make that he does not know, unless it's an emergency decision I need to make right away. Other than that, he is abreast of that information, and we talk about it. We collaborate, and I look at him and say, what do you think? And then we really kind of like look at every angle. He plays that devil's advocate on me, and we go back and forth, and it's a great relationship. So the mentorship's going really well. We have some more time to do, there's no doubt, but the time is flying. I've been here 2 months now, and this is my 3rd month coming in. And in those 3 months, this fire department has changed quite a bit. Now it's really a full-time department, as we know. It's only a year old, this full-time department. We do have a call department. In that call department, the officers, there are no officers in the call department any longer because of the full-time status. We do have officers in every single shift. So that before we didn't have an officer in every shift. So now we have a assistant chief, a captain, and 2 lieutenants. So those are your 4 shifts. And in those 4 shifts, their personnel are just jumping right in on the training. And I know Chief Oak's whole main, focus was on training, and we have an incredible amount of training happening. We have 1 person that's going in paramedic school, 1 going to paramedic school. We have 3 that are going, that are EMTs that are going to A school now. We have 3 people that are going to Firefighter 2 program, which they're already certified in Firefighter 1. It is just amazing on what these folks are doing. So I'm pretty excited, but all those decisions are all coming from myself and the chief, and the assistant chief. So nothing has been done without him knowing, and we have a great working relationship, at least I think so, and I look forward to keep on working with him and moving forward. I learn from him, and he's learning from me, so it works both ways, and I think that's the greatest way of doing business. So the mentorship is moving forward. The only thing that we need to do really is get our software all organized in the department. We have our fire software fine, our EMS software is perfectly fine through ImageTrend, which the state asked us to do, and that's who they bought into, and so didn't we. But our inspections is where we're lacking on the part of a database. So we have EMS Manager. It's a very difficult program to operate. It's not user-friendly, if I may say. It's an older system, and we're looking right now to correct that. And we found something that's pretty much the same amount of money that will do a better job. So we're looking into down the road doing that. But right now, we're doing inspections. I have them all on Word document right now. I'd rather have them in a program so I can pull things out of that, but right now, we don't have that ability to do that, but we're getting there. And we got lots to do with inspections in the town. I mean, there's quite a bit inspections. So, yeah, we're excited.
Okay.
Very excited.
I guess my last question is there anything that this board can do to improve the facilitation up to this point or going forward? Because it is, as you say, this is the 3rd month. It's moving very quickly, and March is coming very quickly. So, we talked about things that, you'll present, okay, we'll have some joint meetings, whatnot, but is there anything that you think we should be doing more proactively?
Well, the only thing that I could see is always support. I mean, if you support your fire department, your police department, your DPW, they will in turn, do the best job they possibly can. We always love to have support from our bosses, and basically you folks are, as our town administrator is. I mean, the support is really warranted and needed, and we would applaud that support. Any questions that you have, we know this is business. We know that, you may not be happy at certain things that we do, how we spend or how we do something, and we just want you folks to be honest with us and tell us straight up. I just like that. I can deal with that better than that not telling me straight up of what's going down, what you're really thinking, because I really need to know, because we can correct anything.
Yeah.
It's just a time. We just need time to correct some things, and sometimes we can correct it right away. But we need that paramount is communications, and we need to have a strong communications from this board to our fire department to the police department, DPW, same, we really need that communications. We need to you hear the beat of the people out there, so don't we, because we're out in the field all the time. We're talking to patients, we're talking to people out there, we're doing inspections, we're talking to the business owners, and we're talking to residents when they buy a new house. So we're there as well. But sometimes they may not tell us exactly what we need to hear. So that's where you folks come in. Any complaints that come your way, we would love to know, and we would love to fix anything. So that's our goal, and it's all to do with communications. So I think that's paramount from us. And on that same thing, I promise you, at least until my time is up, you'll get pure communications from me. I'll tell you exactly where we're at.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
Then I got one more.
That's all right.
Well, because you talked about,
Keep saying things.
I know. You keep making me think of things.
Good, that's good.
This is almost certainly ignorance on my part as the newest person here. You listed a whole lot of training that's going on. It sounds phenomenal. I assume it's in the budget.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Yes and no, it's going to be tough. It's going to be, yeah.
So that's really the question, is how are we paying for it?
Yeah, so we have a line item budget, as you know, and in that line item budget, at the end of the day, it's 1.1 million. And at the end of the day, we have I break it down to salaries, maintenance, training, and I know you folks don't like miscellaneous, but I do anyways. But we break the budget down, and certainly our line item for 8 full-time members and 7 call members, we certainly don't have $10,000 is really not much to deal with when you have a $14,000 class called the paramedic class. So that's $4,000 in the hole already, and that's not putting everybody else out. Now, the academy does a great job for us. Their classes are $160 to go to a class, so it's very inexpensive. If you're not part of New Hampshire Fire Department, Fire Department New Hampshire, you're paying $3,000 or $4,000 for these classes. So we are very fortunate that we do have an academy that supports us as much as they can. So the budget, yes, I'm worried about the training, no doubt about it. We are looking at other avenues to look at the budget and see where we can secure some other funds to take care of some of these things. But the best prudent care that this town needs is a well-trained fire department and well-trained personnel. And to have a paramedic versus an EMT, it's a huge difference. That's your best prudent care for that patient. So I would love to have all paramedics. Unfortunately, we can't afford to do so. But if we could have 1 or 2 on each shift, that'd be great. Right now, we have 2. And we're hopefully going to have 3, and one's going to go to school. That's 4. That's 4 shifts. We might have the 4 shifts covered, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And we have a policy that, when they take leave, personal, vacation, swap, or sick, that we hire equal EMS level. So we try to, it's may, not shall, unfortunately, but because we can't sometimes get everybody, but that's what we try to do. But we tell the town that we're ALS service, so we will always have an ALS person on staff, which is your advanced life support.
Okay.
So Salem's question, you gracefully sort of, skated around the actual yes or no answer. The board, I think, would be unanimous in saying that we're not nodding for you to work with outside of the budget. okay?
Yes,
So,
Yes.
your goals are appreciated, and
Yes.
as long as you're working within inside the budget.
yes, sir.
For any reason you feel, as we're now into the second quarter, headed into the third quarter, if you're gonna not make the goal, we need to know about that immediately.
Yes, right now, our budget, and I will bring that to you, our budget is good at 2.79%, higher than the 50%, but that makes me nervous. I'd like to have a little more for that, sure, because our maintenance is our aging fleet is hurting us, and our ambulance is still at Hillsborough Ford right now, and that's our second ambulance, and that really hurts us, unfortunately, but that, it's been there for quite a long time, trying to get it. We got the turbo fixed, and they're all set, but it's throwing different codes now, and we were supposed to get it back before the patriotic weekend. We did not get it, and we were very upset about that. So I'm daily calling them daily. I don't think they really want to hear from me anymore, but I've been calling them saying, hey, listen, we need this ambulance. Oh, you can take it, but, well, is it going to throw a code? Well, yeah, well, the computer's saying it's going to throw a code. Well, is it throwing a code? No, it's not, but it's going to say, so what does that mean to me? And they said, well, it may put in limp mode. Well, I can't have a patient in the back of this vehicle going down to Concord Hospital and going to limp mode. That's just not, that's unacceptable. So it's been there trying to get these things squared away, and I am hoping that it's going to be ready tomorrow.
Is this a warranty issue?
No, sir. It's over 100,000 miles on this vehicle. Our ambulances, coming here, I would have already replaced our ambulances. I am dealt with what I have, and that's okay. We're going to make it. We're going to try to figure it out. But these ambulances, both of them should have been replaced already.
Is there a reason we use Hillsborough Ford?
That's where we purchased. I think that's
Not the
where
only
we
reason
purchased
we use them.
it. No. No, that's not the only reason, no. We've gone to other places, but we figured that, actually, we usually go to the DPW. We usually utilize as much as we can. And thank you for DPW Director. He does a wonderful job with us on that, and we appreciate that. But no, there is other reason we can go somewhere else.
Thanks.
So do you feel that in 3 months, your biggest deficiency is training over there that you've looked at? Is it training?
Yes, it's apparatus and aging apparatus, and replacement process, the CIP. We probably need to look at that, and training, definitely. Yep. When you come into a department and see, some of the personnel that are in some of the spots that don't have the qualifications, that I'm like, whoa, how'd that happen? But that's the way it happened, and that's okay. That's all right. We're working with it. We're gonna fix this, and that's what you brought me on to, is to fix these problems. And these issues will be fixed by the time I'm done. They'll be fixed probably by November, all of them, training-wise. Training-wise. The apparatus I can't do nothing about right now. I just got to keep on fixing them. But,
And as far as people, you have the right people and skills?
yes. Yeah, the people are fantastic. I mean, they're willing to go to these training sessions. It's not like they're unwilling to go. So there is an avenue now that they can reach. I don't know in the past. I'm not going to speculate in the past. I don't look in the past. I only look for results, and some of the results that were in the past. But I look forward.
Yeah.
I can only live right now and look forward. So that's what I'm looking at right now for this fire department. And certainly the personnel is very excited to go to school, and they are grabbing to this, and they're loving the leadership moving forward.
Good,
So
good.
it's wonderful. If you could see through my eyes, it's absolutely wonderful to see. They're doing really well.
I have another ignorance question, but probably more for Ricky. So, at what, when we talk about aging fleet and whatnot, that does start to feel like a writing some warrant articles. What time of year is best to start talking about that process?
Oh, with budget season.
Yeah.
When we start budget
Capital
season,
improvement
CIP
session,
starts in
Or
August.
be like ready ahead of time, or
Yeah, and also whatever's in the special revenue fund is gonna dictate pretty much what is purchased.
There was a CIP plan, I'm sure, but
Yeah,
everyone has
there
their
was-
own opinion of it.
Right, there was one put in, the fire chief put one forward, Chief Rosina did. But again, I think that was subject to change. There was a lot of comments on it. Some things got moved out of socket, so,
So do you, Ricky, know what's in the budget now as far as when they bill for their ambulance ride and that money comes back and it goes into a budget to put toward
It
equipment?
goes in the special revenue fund.
Right.
Right.
It goes in, and do you know what's in there right now?
I don't. Do you know what, do you know what's in the special reserve?
We've got some lag too, because you don't always get it.
Right.
Correct,
There's
correct.
There's some
quite a bit
backlog
of
in the
lag.
billing.
Yeah,
Right.
and also write-offs. There's some write-offs that we've been doing for quite a long time, meaning if they can't pay,
If they
then.
can't
Right.
pay.
Correct.
Right.
We will write them off, and
Yeah.
we'd get permission from you folks to do so. It's the fire wards that give us permission to do that.
Right now,
But
yeah.
we're in the 200,000 range right now, but I don't have a specific number because I don't have the updated.
I'm
They give it
just
to me only
curious.
once.
Going in,
Once a month, yeah.
right.
Because
But I don't know what's actually in the
I will
fund.
furnish that, though,
Yeah,
to you in
yeah.
my report. It's in my report when I bring that in. But that's a great question on Comstar.
Yeah, I just.
And we
think
can
that-
change the percentages, too. Don't forget, I mean,
Right.
we're looking at different angles to increase or not increase. Obviously, we don't, that really goes towards the insurance
Well, I was
purposes.
just thinking, if you have ambulances that are having major problems, and you're
Mm.
gonna wanna keep putting money into them, if you've got money there, then we should be
Correct.
looking at that.
Correct, and we do, and we use that offsets quite a bit of other stuff. I mean, a fire truck is 850,000, ambulance is 300,000, 300 plus
Yeah.
thousand. So, and we're making maybe 300,000 a year with the, ambulance funds. You add that up and it doesn't go too far, it's unfortunate, but yeah, yeah,
And if you increase the fee, it's a double-edged sword, because if you're writing off those that can't pay it,
correct. It may be more.
cutting more,
They may be more, correct,
and then your insurance premiums go up.
Right.
correct.
It's hard.
I have, I'm sorry, you finished with questions?
Yeah.
To answer your questions on inspections, I think you had an inspection question, a driveway question, right? So I know the planning board has their policies and procedures and grades and stuff like that.
And maybe it can just navigate over, what the board has can just navigate over to them.
Exactly.
I'm just thinking, I just want to put it on the table, that's all.
Exactly, right. And we'll bring those issues and concerns to you, to this board, to go over it, and we will have those regulations. I have them here, all the regulations that, what percentage of the grade needs to be,
Oh,
how
yeah.
big what turnaround.
Oh, I know you got, yeah, and I know that they're in print for the board to follow,
Correct.
it's just who's going to take them over.
Who's gonna be the
when the
responsible party
book-
signing off?
Right, when the
Yeah.
book gets handed over, who's going to grab it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I think that they're solid procedures, they're solid policies, but who's going to grab it and run with it? Is it going to be the planning board? Is it going to be split
Correct.
between the ZBA and the planning board? I don't know.
Correct.
That's
Yep.
That's my thought.
Okay, got it. I mean, I would only assume it would be you folks taking it over, but if the planning board is willing to
I
do
think it's
that,
gonna
or
be planning.
zoning, rather?
I think it's going to be planning,
Some-
board, probably, most
Yeah,
of it.
somebody, I think I had that question way back, is, part of DPW, a lot of time you get called in to ask, does this.
Correct.
What's this look like? But
Correct.
most of the driveway regulations are fire department related.
Right.
Right.
Only because we got to traverse on these, and we can't,
Right.
traverse if it's not
Correct.
right.
No, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
But, I believe it was the fire chief when I was at DPW, someone else was on payroll responsible for signing off on that permit.
Correct.
That won't be a board member.
No, it'd be the
No,
building inspector or
no,
the fire chief
yeah.
or somebody.
And I guess that was the question they had
Right.
all along.
Correct,
So-
correct. Correct. When I go out and do a driveway inspection, I will sign off on it, as long as it's according to the rules and regulations that we put forth.
Like I said, a lot of the time, if it was a big, long, complicated driveway, myself and I was the director and the fire chief at the time would go together and look,
Right.
but he signed off on his portion. It was not
Correct.
up to-
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
That way, if there
not
was
to
a
you,
problem,
right.
it wasn't DPW.
There was two of yous, right?
correct.
Yeah.
So the budget will be good. I mean, we'll make sure you know what the budget is, obviously. And also the Comstat, we'll get that to you too as well. But we'll just continue communicating if that's okay with the board. And
Very good.
if there's any questions, if you want to run it through the town manager, they can get back to me, or you guys can get back to me, it does not matter. We'll answer those questions.
Board have anything else?
No,
Kevin? Ben?
I didn't just reemphasize,
Yeah.
Yep.
She's the avenue.
Love it, love
Okay.
it. That sounds good to me. I like going to one person. That's perfect. All right, thank you so much.
I still like my letter, chief.
thank you, Chief.
Yes, yes, you will have.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you very much, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move up to Reservoir Drive discussion with Sean Hickey. Good.
Thanks for taking your time to hear me.
Of course.
I'm on 424 Reservoir Drive, 60 acres. We've been about 18 months trying to cut off a 14-acre lot. It's been a lot of turmoil. I got 13 abutters. I got one abutter that's not cooperative. He has his own reasons for that. And I have several plans here showing that the town of Ware signed off that he should drill an existing well back in 2010 when his house burnt down, and nobody has done nothing about it. Since then, he's built a woodshed, he's cut down trees, he's built another woodshed, and he's got trash on my property. And I have pictures and so forth, and nobody will do nothing. However, I got a cease and desist for a wetlands violation. 2 days after I got the cease and desist, I stopped. And I'm very confused as to why the town has not given him a cease and desist. And I have the plans right here.
Okay. All right. I mean, you're gonna have to excuse our ignorance to some of this, obviously.
Well,
Yeah.
I was told by Naomi that she never heard of anything about this, and Tony Sawyer has been hounding me for 2 months over this, telling me that it's not up to him, I can't build a fence, I can't do anything.
Well, what I'm saying, Mr. Hickey, is that you're gonna have to excuse the ignorance of the board to the situation.
Right, but I meant somebody should have followed up on it.
We didn't know anything about it. That's what I'm trying to explain.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, it's been a year.
I understand
Okay.
that, sir, but what I'm saying is there's ignorance to the board about the situation.
Right.
So I know you're very emotionally charged right now.
No, I'm not really,
And
but I
I
just-
can understand that.
Yeah.
But again, I just want to make sure that we're all coming up to speed at the same time here, that's all.
Okay.
Right. Chairman, just to let you know, Mr. Shorten's my neighbor. He also occasionally stops by the farm and picks up some hay. I am somewhat familiar with the situation, so keep that transparency there.
Are you in a butter?
No.
And the other point I want to make is, I don't know if you guys, you cooperate with the fire department, the police department, but it took me 5 days to get a no trespassing order against this resident, which has been trespassing for a year. When I went to the PD the first time, the sergeant lied to me right inside on the video camera. He went like this, he said, "We don't issue those." He said, "Go to the sheriff's department." I went back down there, they sent me back. Then I asked to speak to the chief. The Mount Pleasure, I think, he's a captain, came out, "Oh, we do that, Sean, we do that all the time." Why was I lied to by our police department?
I don't know.
I'd like to see the videotape, and I'd like to find out what's gonna happen. Because we represent them as a taxpayer, and this has been going on too long.
Understood.
Can I show you these
Yeah,
plans?
yeah,
Yes,
so,
sir.
yeah. So this
Okay,
this
three
is,
different surveys done.
this is of your lot, correct?
No, this is that of, I got my lot and his lot.
Okay.
Kevin, I think, knows.
So this is your lot?
No, this is Reservoir Drive right here.
Okay.
This is my neighbor's driveway. This is my lot line, showing his house 6 feet off my property line, his well 60 feet on, and his driveway. Now what he's doing is, his kids are driving around the house with a no trespassing order, and the police department will not arrest them, the parents. There's another survey I had. This costs thousands of dollars. And I don't get that. I just don't get it. Here's my driveway coming up here. Here's the driveway I proposed for my nephew's house. And once again, his house 6 feet off the property and his driveway on mine. And the point I want to make, and I'm not mad at you guys, is I would like somebody to read this right here. Number 4, out loud. Footnote.
Okay, Sean, take it.
Yep. And I want you to notice it's been signed by Chip Meany, Building Inspector, 2010. I just don't understand why it hasn't been resolved.
Well, and number 4 says, use of the existing off-site well shown hereon shall be discontinued,
Discontinued.
and a new well to serve the subject premises shall be installed at the proposed location also shown hereon,
Yeah.
which is well inside of
And
that
here's
property.
the well I own, and he's been taking water for 20 years.
Okay. Is this well been put in?
Never been put in, nobody followed up on it. And the other problem is, that was a two-family house. When it burnt down in 2010, he converted it to a single family. So he should have been required to move the foundation or do something, which he didn't do.
You've spoken with Tony Sawyer?
I've spoken to Tony several times, and I like him, but we don't get anywhere. He also told me that in order for me to put up a fence, I'm gonna put a fence up here, that I have to get a building permit. I called Hillsborough, Antrim, Bennington, Manchester, and Concord, and nobody requires a building permit. Tony Sawyer told me I need a building permit.
I don't think.
And I don't believe that,
I
because
don't think-
that means every farmer in New Hampshire has to get a building permit to put a wire fence up. And I'm not mad at you guys, but I mean, I need to end this. This is costing me thousands.
So, again,
Yep.
my ignorance.
Yep.
Was this foundation here previous 2010?
That was a house, a two-family, in
Okay.
2010. It burnt down, it was empty 2 years, which discontinues the adverse possession.
Okay.
My neighbor says, oh, I have adverse possession. You don't have it, broke the chain of title.
Okay.
I've dealt with this
All right,
in several towns,
I'm
and
just asking.
you guys are good. I know you don't know about it, but I need to get to the bottom of it.
Sean, just a question.
Yeah,
So, at no time, the owner, prior to you owning your piece of property, at no time did he grant an easement?
absolutely not. I
Let me
researched.
finish the question.
Yep, okay.
So, you've done the research?
Yep.
There's nothing in the title of this lot?
No easement from my property when I bought it 20 years ago to that person. Nothing.
And nothing on this title?
Well, he can't give an easement. It has to come from
No,
me.
no,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
But just wanted to double check to make sure there's no language
easement, yeah.
on this title
Right.
that's
No.
in.
There's a lot of those old,
And,
Easements, yeah.
yeah, but I meant, and the other thing I talked to him years ago about, if you had bought title insurance, you could have resolved this. He offered me $500 to give him an acre of land and do all the surveying and give him a well. I'm not that stupid. That's a $40,000 well, and I need to know within a week or 30 days, because I'm gonna disconnect it. I'm gonna take my chances and disconnect it. I own that well. I called the state, and they said that there's no easement, and because it's on my property, and he has no easement, that I own it. That's what they told me. And I don't mean, I talk loud, I'm not that way, but that's just how I am, right?
Understood.
But it's very frustrating, because my nephew wants to build a house up here, and why would he build a $40,000 well if we already got one there?
How, again, 'cause-
Yeah, here's the house right here.
Yep, that's the house.
Yeah.
So are we talking about 500 feet roughly to the proposed house?
No, the driveway's 3,200 feet.
Okay.
I just had this done, this is called an erosion plan, wetlands plan.
Yep.
$17,000.
This is 1 in 50.
Yep.
Yeah.
1 in 50.
Okay,
Yeah.
1 inch is 50,
Yeah,
okay.
yes,
All right, so it's considerable, okay.
yeah, 500 feet.
And I talked to Tony, we got the cease and desist on my part, so we did all the erosion, we didn't do any building and whatnot. But why in 10 years is he still drawing water when it said right there in 2010, he had to cease operation of the well? I don't get that,
And this is your residence?
my residence.
Okay.
Yeah, so, just for clarification, Sean, it's clear that the well, is on your property per stamped.
Well, per 3 plans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
Exactly.
not one, and he claims, and actually my neighbor, I have on video camera, pulling out the surveillance stakes, which is a federal felony. You can't pull them out. And Jock Bellinger is my surveyor. He went to the planning board, you guys all know him. He's a good guy and he does stuff right. He pulled out all the pins. I have him on their camera. You don't do that.
I'm gonna make a suggestion,
Yeah,
that we bring, that we have another meeting and we bring Tony in to discuss this.
okay,
Right
I need
now.
it sooner than later.
No,
okay?
I understand that.
And I know
just-
you're busy and you only need.
I just wanna make sure that everybody's here and everybody has a fair shake at, conversation about this.
And why would he tell me I need a building permit for a fence?
I couldn't tell you.
I don't understand that. And
know.
why would the sergeant lie to me in the police station? And I can't get a video of that. I'd like to get a copy of that video.
Understood?
What's the reasoning for not, somebody say that they're not gonna give him the cease and desist?
I went there to get a no trespassing order. And the sergeant told me that we don't do it. And then I had to go down to Merrimack. Then I had to come back, and then Mont Pleasure, he was great. He said, oh, we do that. And it took him 5 days to give it to him. And then since then, the kids have still been riding around it. And if that kid gets hurt on that driveway, the guy's gonna sue me.
Do you know what day you were there? Can you send that to us?
I don't have any idea, but it's on the camera down there.
So would it
Well,
be Tony
but
to
you know-
give the
you know what
cease and
day you were
desist to the
there?
well?
I have
Yes.
the cease and desist, I mean, I have the no trespass
No.
order, yeah.
And that was all the same
That's
day?
dated,
that you
that'll be
went?
dated.
Yeah.
You'll know the
That was the
date.
day I went,
No,
and then I
whose
went back and
responsibility
went
that
back
is.
and
All on
forth.
the
yeah.
same day?
This is-
No,
this was
2
put
days
against
later.
him.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Because
I'm
of-
trying to get
because
back
of
to that
wetlands.
original date.
No, for the well, I mean, for the guy to quit using the well, but I
So-
mean,
Oh,
So
who did
this,
do that?
you know,
Nobody's issued
let's
yet.
just slow down
Who
for a
was
second,
issued?
but
I would think it would be Tony.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
And this was signed by the building inspector in Ware back in 2010. So somebody should have followed it up, and that well should have been drilled 12 years ago.
2012.
2012, yeah.
10, 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
Yeah. And I just found it odd that as soon as my neighbor called EPA or Environmental Services,
They were
I get
there,
a cease and
okay.
desist in 2 days.
And who was that signed by?
Tony?
Okay, just asking, just
Yeah.
clarification, that's all.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not mad at you guys, Benji
No.
knows, it's just my nature, but I get frustrated, I mean, I
Yeah,
work
no,
hard
I-
every day.
Understood,
You know,
understood.
Work hard every day, pay my tax, I get land in 5 different towns, and I don't understand it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
no, okay.
And without, because, okay, everything you're saying here sounds accurate. Obviously, there are multiple sides to every
Right.
story. I'd like to hear it all. I want to get you the answers you need as quickly as possible. It comes to mind, we had a whole room full of people here about
Right.
a very, very, very similar issue
Yeah.
on Quaker Street.
And you know, the other thing was,
Very simple.
when Tony told me that I could not put up a fence going through his woodshed, let me show you something.
That's it.
How can a guy build a woodshed and put wood on my property? There's his house. There's the well. Let me just show, there's the wood he had delivered on my driveway that he thinks he owns. There's the pin. There's the no trespassing signs on my pine trees. There's the thing he built on my property. There's the tires he put on my property.
Did you get a building permit?
Absolutely not. And there's the woodshed right there. And see the surveying pin? Right there.
So Sean, just for familiarity, so this corner of this is.
This is right there. 8.5 feet. We couldn't even put a pin in because Jock was afraid the kid would trip on the pipe. I said, that's fine. We don't want to hurt the kid.
No.
But now the kid's riding mini bikes up there all the time, and when he falls off the mini bike on my driveway, guess what's gonna happen? We know that, right?
Right. When was that well put in, do you know, the one that's,
Have no idea. It was
Okay.
put in, he bought that house in 2010 or 11. Before that, it was under a foreclosure or whatever. But it was not put in by Kentucky Well, they just put a cap.
they put their cap on it?
Right.
Okay, all right.
Anything after like 83 should be in the.
You
state
can't, I
legislature.
already researched it.
I was gonna say, you
And-
probably went there
And
already.
now the problem is, I wanna do a well test on that, and I have to have the police department, I wanna get a detail to go up there, because as soon as I go up there to do that, there's gonna be a problem.
Understood.
Yeah. And I gotta put the fence up, and I'm not gonna get a permit, because I don't need one, and I'm gonna need a detail for that, and they're telling me $58 an hour times 2 guys, that's gonna cost me
Yeah.
$800.
Minimum.
Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lose, I mean, I don't like the guy, for whatever reason it is. I got 13 abutters, and they're all wondering why I got a swimming pool in the yard, and it's not in the ground. You've probably seen it, Benji, right? No? It's a 20 by 40 swimming pool. Not mine, but my nephew's. Been there a year and a half, from Virginia.
Huh.
All right,
Maybe have a special meeting.
I believe so.
I just,
That's what I was gonna say.
I know you guys are busy, but
No,
I
we're-
can't let this go
No,
on. you know?
understood,
And
understood.
I know you are busy,
No,
okay?
we understand that,
And I
100%.
appreciate you taking the time, you know?
Yep. Yeah, I think, this one? I think Kevin makes a valid point. I think this is due for a special meeting, because like you said, I mean, time is of the essence.
Now, do
so.
we have to notify him butters and all that?
I don't believe we have to.
No,
Not,
You know what I'm
not
saying?
for us to have a meeting, no.
Okay.
Not for us to have a meeting, no.
But
No.
I think we need to bring Tony in.
Oh, that was the plan.
And I
That's the
think we
plan.
need
Is there a
get the
problem
film.
bringing in the owner?
Yeah, I think we should.
I think
If
he
you
needs
bring
to-
in the owner, I won't be here, because it's not gonna be good, because every time I go up to his house, he's saying, Mr. Hickey, Mr. Hickey, Mr. Hickey, and I don't get along with the guy.
Yeah.
That's why I got a no trespassing order, and I already have him on camera again trespassing, and the PD needs to come up and do something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys can do anything, but I'm not gonna let it go any longer.
Let's take it a step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's have the special meeting, let's bring Tony in.
Yeah.
I also believe this plan, when you got your cease and desist,
Yeah,
was planning involved?
oh, yeah. They did a site plan review. He was the only, my neighbor was the only abutter out of 13 abutters that came up. And I had to leave because he told me I buried cars, I buried this, which I didn't.
Okay, okay. So I just don't know if it would serve us to ask for somebody from planning to sit in.
I don't see why there would be any
Yeah.
reason
You know
not
what I
to.
mean? Because
Right.
They know what's going on.
Okay, yeah.
They know we're
Yeah, hang
trying
on,
to
Sean.
correct it and
Yeah,
get it
hang on,
done.
Sean. What
you
we're
know?
trying to do is we're just trying to avoid it, having a special meeting, which then will have another special meeting. We're bringing.
That leaves somebody out. We want to make sure everybody's here on the
Yeah.
table.
Well, I
Yeah.
think the other person you need is the chief of police, and I think you need to get
Oh.
a copy of that video.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the
don't
chief
think-
can be here
Yeah.
to
I mean,
discuss
there's
it.
no reason why that officer would have lied to me right in that room and told me to go there when he already knew, and he was there twiddling his thumbs, like a big joke, and it's not
I'm
funny.
not sure if he was lying, I'm not standing up for him.
told me
He may
that-
not have, he may not
Well, he needs to
have
know
known
what he
that.
does, that's his job.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay?
I absolutely want to correct it,
Yeah.
but
Right,
we do
correct
have
it.
a handful of new guys that may just not
Well,
know.
you know,
Yeah.
they're responsible for their
Absolutely,
actions.
absolutely.
Right.
Just like,
Absolutely.
just like Chip signed right here, he's responsible to not check that after 10 years.
No, he
He's
is.
still alive.
Yeah, he is 100%.
Okay.
I would prefer to attribute it to ignorance rather than malice.
Right.
Well,
That's-
if we
that's
have
what
to go
I-
to that next step, we'll have to find out. But he
Right.
did it twice,
Okay.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so let's just see if we can get on the same page
Yeah.
as the players. We want police representation.
We want a
We
copy
want-
of the video.
wait, We want zoning. We want zoning, and we want planning.
Planning, yeah.
And
we-
ourselves.
And
Tony?
code enforcement.
Tony.
And Tony,
Yeah,
code
well,
enforcement.
Tony's not technically code enforcement, he's zoning enforcement,
Okay.
okay?
And the other thing, not to interrupt, excuse me,
Yeah.
we have no building inspector.
Okay.
So who's gonna sit in on that to find out why he signed that?
Okay.
Get
so-
him here.
Yeah, this is evidence, and this is proof that it was signed, and your note is enough to
Yeah.
substantiate your claim, so that's enough, that's all okay. So that's a given, okay? It's a stamp drawing, it's a dated drawing, so we'll stick with that without dragging Chip here.
No, and all
I-
three of these match, you know what I'm saying?
Right, no,
All the
100%.
survey, they all,
Yeah.
it's not like, my neighbor questioned that Jock was not licensed after we pulled the pins out. Well, he is licensed. He's a
Correct.
good guy.
Correct.
Okay,
How
So-
about Thursday? Is Thursday night good for everyone?
Not here.
You're not here?
What
No,
about Friday?
No, not in here.
I'm just saying,
Oh, not
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week, this
Yeah.
room has got
Well, so we have
meetings.
to
Can we
do
meet
Friday.
upstairs?
I'm out. I'm not here Friday.
okay.
Can we meet upstairs in the conference, in the,
If you take minutes, somebody takes minutes.
Right, if somebody takes minutes. So.
It's not gonna be on tape. Not
Yeah,
Now,
on
do you
guess
want
that
me
makes
to
sense.
leave this stuff with you guys or not?
No.
No,
Okay.
you can have it.
All right.
Yeah, no,
No.
No, yeah.
I'm responsible for
Let's,
$17,000
You can
claim.
have
No, I'm
next
good.
Tuesday.
Huh?
I don't wanna be responsible for your $17,000
afford it.
claim. Yeah,
Next Tuesday?
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
So,
so,
you,
That's a pretty good deal though, huh?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No hoses breaking or
I think
nothing
you
right
could do
now?
it for next Thursday. Because Monday, next week, Monday, you have a meeting, Tuesday's Board of Fire Awards, and Wednesday's Ethics. The following week.
So following Thursday.
So it'd be the 20th, because planning board's not till the 27th.
I'd like to do it sooner than later, to be honest with you. Let's go Thursday and we'll find someone to take minutes.
Okay.
We'll work it out.
I'm fine with, I can be there Thursday.
Thursday, 6:30?
No, I'm not disagreeing with that, and I understand your concern, but I don't know how we can have the meeting without the other homeowner.
Bring them in. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
Yep.
I
I won't be here, but my nephew that's buying the property, eventually, if we don't die before we can get it approved, he'll sit in on it.
Okay.
But I won't be here.
Okay, and can you make sure that everything you presented tonight?
Is given to your
we-
nephew.
we have time?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
okay.
All right.
So Thursday, 6:30 PM, and it will be upstairs.
Okay.
The only caveat is just make sure everybody can be here Thursday. So-
Right.
So we'll have to get a hold of
Yeah.
everybody.
Now,
and we'll be in
how are you
contact.
gonna notify the neighbor? What if he don't wanna come?
We're
and
gonna
get
have,
it?
we'll have to reach out to him,
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll reach out to him.
and we'll let him know, and then he'll have the option to attend. Is that okay with you, Sam?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we just gotta make sure everybody can be here Thursday, that's all.
And it's not that I don't wanna be here, it's just
No,
not
I-
gonna be a
understood.
good thing. You know what I'm
Understood.
saying?
Completely understood.
I got 13 and 12 good and one we don't get along with, so I don't wanna make,
Yeah.
I don't wanna make the meeting longer than it should be. My nephew knows everything that's going along.
Understood.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Great, Sean. Well, check.
Okay, yeah.
You'll be notified. Does Naomi have your home phone?
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Okay, so you'll be notified by town administrator whether for confirmation of the meeting.
Yeah,
If for any reason your nephew cannot make it.
no, he'll be
Okay,
there.
but for any reason
Yeah.
he cannot make it,
Yeah.
we need to be notified,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
All right?
No, he'll definitely be there because he wants to get this thing done.
Oh, absolutely.
We
Once get-
wanna get the whole thing done.
No,
Right.
fair
You know?
enough. No,
And,
no,
we
agreed.
wanna give you a big tax check, you know?
What about, you said to check all parties. Now, if the police chief has got something, or Tony
Yeah,
has
well,
something, what do I have to
We're
do?
gonna have to tomorrow.
Verify
or
who's
something, we're just gonna
available.
Find out if everybody
Right, but
can
if
be
any
there.
one of those parties are not available,
Well, we get the state police to sit in, right?
We'll have to reschedule.
Okay.
We'll be in
A lot of
contact.
people to
Yeah.
get in order.
Yeah, it's a lot of spokes to put together quickly,
No, I know, and I
but we'll do what we
realize you
can.
guys are part-time too, but I
Yep.
meant, I just don't want,
No,
like
it-
with the planning board, it's every 2 weeks.
Correct.
And when they don't have a member, it's another month.
Yep.
And another month, and
Completely
another
understood.
month.
Yeah, completely
You know,
understood.
and I
Yep.
mean, meanwhile, the clock ticks on.
Correct.
We gotta start someplace.
Yeah.
So we're
Yep.
gonna start with Thursday. We're gonna ask all the people if they can be here at 6:30, provided they can.
Yeah. Now, if they
Yeah,
can't be
that-
Thursday, you're not available Friday, right? Okay, do you have to have all you folks?
Yeah, have to have 3 of us.
So are you all available Friday?
Thursday, yes.
Thursday,
I mean, if
Yeah.
if we can't do it Thursday, can you guys do it Friday?
Yes.
yes.
So that's fine, let's do
Okay,
it Friday.
but let's
Well,
start
let's
with
start with
Thursday.
Thursday.
Start with Thursday.
Friday's an option, Tuesday's an option, so let's
Okay.
just hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully
We'll
we can
make a
this-
day work.
Okay.
And we can get an outline of where it's gonna go forward from there. Not to get ahead of this.
Yeah,
You're not going to see an immediate decision on Thursday, because this is gonna turn out to be a legal matter at some point,
okay.
okay? So don't come in thinking that you're gonna walk out the door with a hard
No,
decision.
but, no, I understand that, but then if I don't get a decision that day, then I can do what I think is right according to what the state told me. I own the well,
Yeah.
I'll disconnect it.
It'll be, let's put it this way,
Yeah.
the wheels will be in motion to
Right.
resolve the problem.
But I gotta get them turning faster than a mile an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you
Understood.
certainly got our attention.
Yeah, understood.
All right, and I appreciate your time, and like I said, thanks again very much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I would tack on just that was the appropriate way to approach that. We've had people come
Yes.
across extremely aggressively, and if you plan on trying to get our attention by showing up, and I'm not talking about you, I'm saying if people are listening and they're like, well, that's what I need to do. I need to come in here and throw things on the table,
No,
and
you can't
no.
do that, but the
But
thing
you were understanding of our time, of our
I
limitations.
just want to eliminate the pain. I mean, it's gone on now too long,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? I get my own water out of my well. He needs to get his water out of his well. It's been 10 years. I mean, enough is enough.
Yep.
Understood.
Okay?
Yeah.
And thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay,
Okay, you want to say something? Okay.
all right. Jason, did you have anything? I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's here for your next one.
Okay, you're here for the next part. Okay. I kind of skipped you over to department heads, and I apologize for that. So, so I'll bring this to 148 High Rock for a driveway discussion. Recognize Jason.
So, resident, our landowner, Hugh Smith, he's approached me because of the rebuilding of High Rock Road. It's his opinion that he's getting more water down his driveway because of it. We had a meeting. I went out there, talked to him, explained to him that we would gladly come up there, do a little bit more ditch work on the road. It's a duplex, so his top driveway does not have a driveway culvert, which is creating a lot of the problems. So that's kind of why he wanted to come in tonight. It's always been my impression that driveway culverts are not in our scope of work, what we're gonna do. I had a meeting with Town Administrator Bolton, same thing. We didn't wanna go ahead and spend any money doing that without you guys giving the go-ahead. So I'll let him come up here and share his opinion and have a conversation with you guys about it, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
My name is Hugh Smith. First of all, thanks for hearing me out. I'll try to be as quick as I can, so I'm not any later.
Before you start, I just want to, I'm familiar with High Rock. In proximity to Tracy Lane, where are you?
Above it, top of the hill.
Okay,
Two
top.
houses from the top.
Okay,
2 houses from the dead end.
okay,
On the right or left going up?
Going up, I'm on the right.
okay.
Gotcha.
So my name is Hugh Smith. I have property at 144, 148 High Rock. I bought it probably 3 years ago. I did both driveways over when I bought it. $5,000, whatever it was. We nit-backed them. I didn't want to spend the money to pave them. That'd be even more.
Understood.
Had no problems with water at all. Nothing. The way the road was level and the way the level of the driveways, and I wasn't doing anything with the nit-back to push any water into the road, which wouldn't be the right thing to do, of course, obviously. And in return, when you people came in and you did the road over, and I thank you for doing the road over, at least we got a paved road, all right? But when you did the road over, what they basically did was, it wasn't something that was really engineered. They didn't do a bunch of swells on the side of it. What they basically did is reclaim the surface that was there and put like 6 inches or whatever was needed on top of it and then pave it. Unfortunately, on the top of the hill where I am, the first 2 houses are kind of level, and then there's like a low spot, and then it makes the crown to go down the hill. When they did that, I was out there today in the pouring rain, and I took a tape measure and I measured from an angle going down. It's 32 inches. So if I straighten that out, it's probably 28, but there's a huge amount of crushed rock that they put in there when they built that up. And the higher you go, the more it's tapered. So what it's doing is, my driveway on the left, 148, the high side, does not have a culvert under it. I agree. Whether the builder didn't put one in, whether he didn't think it needed it at the time. And then when you come down between the 2 driveways, it's all pretty full now. And then there's another culvert that was clogged that goes under the second driveway. And that's kind of a narrow one. I didn't measure it, but it's a narrow one. So in talking to Naomi and talking to Jason, and he was kind enough to come out, all right? They were talking about trenching the sides of the road out, putting a little bit of stone in there, which would be good, because it would make like a swell and the water would go down. The problem is the upper driveway, which, by the way, I measured today, and it's like 40 feet wide. And I think normal driveways, you must have a code 20, 25 feet.
I think it's, what, 30 at the apron?
Yeah, 30 at the
30 at the
30 at the
apron,
apron.
tapered back to 20.
Yeah.
30 at the apron?
30 where you hit the road, tapered back to 20.
20.
Okay, so I'm almost 40 at the road, okay? So obviously, it needs to be shrunk, all right? So the short version is, I didn't have any problems before, okay? I'm not here to create any problems for anybody. I appreciate you giving me the time. My concern is that right now, I'm flooded out. So both driveways are washed down to the point that it's washing out the driveways. I've got craters a couple of feet wide, that deep. And it's even going on the sides of the 2-stall garages and washing out the sides. It's like a river. So, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but there is some sort of responsibility to the town to try to help me a little bit, so I'm asking for help. I'm here saying that if I pay for the culvert and we put the culvert in, will the selectman or the town administrator or Jason be able, if you're gonna trench the sides of the road between the two driveways, and you're gonna end up trenching above it, because it's all full in now, can you at least for me trench the gap where my driveway goes across and meets the road? So then we can drop the pipe in, and I can take a small Kubota or something, and we can fill the top of it, put the grass paper over it, your cloth paper over it, and the stone, and then do both driveways over. It's gonna cost me about $4,000 to do the driveways over. To buy the culvert pipes and the stone and stuff, you're probably talking another $1,200-1,500. The only person I have that can dig for me is a landscaping gentleman that does my lawns and stuff for me. I'm 71 years old, I have asthma, there's limited things I can do. I get short of breath, as you'll see. So for him to do it with his little Massey Ferguson that's like my Kubota, I don't have a backhoe on mine, he does. The backhoe's probably a foot wide. I think they get out 5 or 6 feet. It's not gonna have we're gonna be there for 2 days digging that thing out, okay? Even if the town, if it's gonna take Jason an hour or 2 hours with his equipment, I was already there. That's obviously bigger and heavy duty, to scoop right straight across that section of the driveway. And then he can lay out the way he wants the water from above it coming down off the hill, across the driveway. He's scooping between the two driveways, and then it goes through the other culvert. Right? The best scenario would be if the town said, yeah, Hugh, no problem, you know, we really created a problem over there for you. You gotta spend $4,000 again. It isn't fair. We'll put the culvert in. That's in a perfect world. But I'm afraid if you do that, you're gonna open up a can of worms where somebody building a new house can say, oh, I want a culvert too, I want a culvert too. Next thing you know, you're gonna do culverts for everybody.
Right.
But I think what's fair is fair. I mean, I didn't ask for this. I was perfectly happy before you raised the road up that high, okay? What's fair is for an hour or 2 hours with the town with their equipment, when you're scooping the sides of the road anyhow, just scoop the upper driveway right straight across. I've got 2 driveways. They can go across the front lawn and out the other one while we're doing this. Just scoop me that section, 30 feet or whatever it is, so that then Jason sees the pipe drop in, it flows the water the way you want it, once and done. For the next 20 years, I don't have to worry about this. And if there's a fee for the couple of hours for the town, I'll pay it. I'm not trying to get anything for nothing. But I would just rather the town at least scoop that out. If there's any rocks and stuff in there, you guys got the bigger equipment. Jason's laying out the design of where he wants it to go under there. I'll get the pipes. I'll even pay for that if I have to, but at least scoop it out. And I think that's more than fair and more than reasonable.
What's your opinion, Jason?
I didn't want to spend any taxpayers' money. Jason, can you come up to the chair next to Naomi? No, sir, you can stay at the podium. I'm gonna put Jason in the chair next to Naomi, just so he's got a microphone. Because I think there's gonna be some back and forth dialogue, so I just, you know.
I didn't want to spend any taxpayers' money on doing somebody's driveway culvert without somebody giving me the go-ahead to do it.
But Mr. Smith obviously spoke about, you were talking about going down there and ditching some.
Exactly.
To begin with.
Yep.
Okay. And putting that stone down.
What would your feeling be of installing the pipe if he purchased it?
Well, first, can I ask a question first, please? I'd like to get back to the root of the problem. Is it your opinion, that in the rebuild of the road, with certain things are gonna happen in the rebuild of the road, have we created part of what is the problem? I mean, obviously, we got a year of unprecedented amount of rain here in the last 6 weeks, but in raising the road, have we exacerbated the problem, in your opinion?
The road was here, we raised it up here. In my opinion, it's still the same amount of rainfall hitting the road. The house is lower. Obviously, you're gonna get water. The ditch does need to be cleaned out. I just don't see how, per our policies, putting a driveway culvert is our issue.
Okay. Right. So I guess my question is you said you were gonna go and clean it out. You know, you told Mrs. Smith that you go clean out that ditch area.
Yeah,
where you're
yeah,
gonna do.
Yeah.
You were gonna put some stone down, just to help it, or some gravel?
Yeah, just to back up what erosion's there.
Right, exactly.
On the road.
Right, nothing extra. You would be in the vicinity of his driveway, right? Obviously?
100%, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
The driveway culvert would.
Solution it?
Oh, it would definitely help the problem. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you're still gonna have that 30 foot of water that's gonna go down to his driveway, but with a little bit of pitch on the driveway like we had talked about, it's gonna head back down into the,
Right. So, I guess, Mike, do you foresee any issues? I mean, obviously, you're not gonna see a big nugget buried under there, but do you see any issues with what Mr. Smith said, a couple hours to dig that spot?
I mean, yeah, we put culverts in all the time, so it's
Okay.
it's within our scope of work for sure.
All right, I'm just
You see
thinking,
it as a couple hours worth of work.
Yeah.
okay.
Mr. Smith has offered to compensate us for, while you're there, for an hour, for if we come up with a reasonable hourly rate.
I don't have a problem with that, sir. My problem is that I don't have equipment that's
Yeah,
big.
You don't have equipment to make the trench,
And
right?
and if he's gonna dig above my driveway, he's gonna have to dig about 20 feet above the driveway, because it's all closed in, and it fills up with water, so he's gonna scoop that. He's scooping under the driveway, in between the two driveways. He's designing the flow, so it goes in the pipe like it's supposed to. And when Jason, he was kind enough to come out, okay? And even Jason, when he was out there, looked at it. He was not the person in charge when he did it. But I think the comment we were talking back and forth was that you said it really wasn't done right with the picture of the road. There was an expression you had, something about it wasn't right, or you wouldn't have done it that way, or there was a comment that there was a little bit of a mistake there, the way they did it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just saying. when we're
Yeah, I
talking
don't
about-
I don't recall
Yeah.
saying that there was a mistake made. I might have said
You wouldn't have done it that way or something?
I think I might have said that there might have been a little bit too much gravel added
That's
into that
exactly
one
what you
spot,
said.
but
Thank you. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've had a history of doing that.
So I'm not complaining, I'm not,
So, Mr. Smith, I just want to know if the board is okay with this, because it seems like there could be a reasonable solution to this without setting a precedent.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's where it's like, but if we're setting the precedent of the equipment's right there anyway, and we get paid for the whole thing, that's not a bad precedent.
Would you be willing, if it's a 2-hour operation, would you be willing to compensate us $100 per hour?
absolutely.
Right. I guess my only reservation is, and I think it makes sense, because it's gonna help our road, obviously, to get rid of the water. It's gonna help get rid of the
Stop me from
water,
getting flooded out, yeah.
stop you from getting flooded out. I think it's a win-win for both the town and the resident. I would just want to hold no harmless if we start digging and you know,
So I guess
that's my
that-
only thing.
I guess that's what I reverted back to my first question to Jason, is if there was a problem, and I'm the guy responsible for causing your problem, so I apologize. But,
Oh, you did the road?
I can't visualize it in my head, so that's the only reason I asked specifically where, and I still can't visualize.
It's right
how
at the
that-
top right-hand corner going up.
Still
right
can't
at the
visualize a
end.
ditch line that runs
So
the
as
water,
you,
but,
as
Yeah.
you climb the hill,
yep.
as you climb the hill and get to the top of the hill, it levels off. There's one duplex on the right-hand side, there's a second duplex on the right-hand side with the great big view
Yep.
out and back.
Yeah, you're on
So if
this
you
one.
come backwards, you get the view, you got one in the middle, and you got me.
Okay.
It's not my bottom driveway, because there is a culvert under
There's a
that
culvert
one,
in
it
that
goes
one.
off the hill, off the banking. It's the top driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anybody did this on purpose.
No, I don't.
It's just, the amount of crushed stone on that thing is a lot.
No, and
Like,
I appreciate the idea of being very reasonable about this, but I do appreciate the idea of some form of compensation, not, I mean, that rate would barely cover our expense, okay, so it doesn't impact the taxpayer rate. You're not gonna hire a machine like that and an operator and fuel it and maintain it at that rate.
I agree.
But we're not gonna lose money doing it either, or impact the other taxpayer negatively. So I would,
If you charged me $300 to dig
well,
the
we-
ditch,
yeah, I think.
it doesn't,
I mean, I consulted with my expert, and I think that would handle our costs. Would the board be opposed to that?
I'm personally, again, if you wanted to buy the pipe and have us dig the spot, because like I said, the equipment, at a reasonable rate.
Sure.
I, for one, am okay with it, as long as you're okay with that.
I'm okay with doing it as long as you guys give me the okay to do it. I don't want to be
I just
out there on the side of the road.
Obligation ends as soon as the ditch is complete.
Yeah, you do your ditching, you do your stone work, whatever you want to do, and as soon as the hole's
We
dig,
could drop the
dug,
pipe in while he's there.
Yep.
So he gets to make sure we're okay.
and yeah, I
And then
think,
after that, we'll cover the top of it with the cloth and the stone, we'll do the driveways over.
Yeah.
That's
So-
your, that's your end.
and that's your end, but I think that's great that, you know, he would obviously drop the pipe in when our crew is there to view it.
I just
My-
don't wanna
my
have another
main-
$4,000 every couple of years to deal with.
Understood.
My main concern was not spending taxpayers' money
Right.
on somebody's driveway without
Jason,
somebody
you're
giving me the
absolutely-
okay.
This is not gonna, this is an individual situation, and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing exactly what policy says you should do. So this is literally, we're trying to address a situation that was created during the rebuild, apparently, and
And this isn't the first time. I mean,
No, it's not.
anytime you rebuild a road, because they were built back 1700s in the wagon trails, you gotta build them up. Well, yours wasn't, yours is a subdivision, but, it's not
Yeah.
out of
mine was
the, it's
built
not
by-
out of the ordinary to have a driveway that we gotta go back, so, I'm okay with compensation, I'm okay with, I'd be okay if you purchased all the materials, if Jason dug the ditch for you, I mean,
Yeah, and
I'm gonna get out of country three corners and get a couple of sections of the pipe and one of
Yeah.
those connectors in the middle.
it's easy enough, as long as the town's not paying for materials, it's not something that we haven't done before, I guess.
Correct.
Just don't provide the materials, and, you know, then it's your responsibility from then on, keep it clean, because it's a driveway code.
Right. I'm looking at the fact,
A lot of those were supposed to have them, and when they got built, got buried or didn't go in, and it's not the new people's fault either, but it,
is what it is, but I didn't wanna put Jason in the middle because he was kind enough to go out and look at it.
Of course.
And he goes, we can't do that with the tax, so I said, okay. Then he said, I'll put you on the list for tonight.
no, it's a good plan.
So, excellent plan, so thank you.
yeah, I like I said, as long as there's a hold no harmless, you know, for some reason we hit a water line out there, that's my only thought.
Yeah, well-
I know it's a driveway, but still, just a hold no harmless.
Might not be the worst idea for one of you two to dig safer, I guess.
Yeah, that's,
We have to
we
call
have to
dig safe
anyway.
anyhow.
right, so,
Supposed to, right?
yeah,
Person digging's gotta do it, as a matter of fact, so.
Right.
If we okay Jason, he's gotta do it.
yep,
And the other thing, Jason, is if something happens, when you drive away and I got a pipe laying there with the water flowing through it, I'm fine on my own the next day or two to finish it and finish the driveways, because the people on the bad driveway side can go across the front lawn and out the other
there
driveway.
you go, so they got access out.
Absolutely, so nobody's inconvenienced, it's a win-win.
Yep, I'm good, haven't heard much from this side, so,
I just want to make sure that it's probably actually fixed when they leave, only because of fire or rescue.
yeah, no, it sounds like they'll have access. If the ambulance has to get up there, they'll have access, because you're not really touching the other driveway, it's gonna be,
Just do it.
If anything, all we're doing is skin coating the other
Just do
driveway.
it.
just gotta clean
imagine,
that culvert out, so.
You're going to get what, a 1-foot pipe? You get,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was suggested that I use a 15-inch pipe
15
instead of
inch?
12. If the board has a better idea, but.
Nope, if that's what,
15 times-
if that's what the interim director says, then 15 is what we'll go
Yeah.
with.
Whatever you tell me to get, I'm gonna get.
Jill, anything?
No, it was, yeah, when we talk about setting precedent, that I would not want to do this if somebody said you're going to cut a trench through my driveway and then a fire truck could not get to me. Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
that's
But
my
because
only-
you've said,
Second driveway.
yeah. And that
Second
was-
driveway.
I wouldn't do that with the tenant either.
Yeah.
Liability, yeah.
yeah.
I kind of personally think, and I do, I want to argue over peanuts, but if he's gonna be there, dig it, takes about 5 more minutes, take dirt and throw back on it.
Yeah. But
We
what,
just
but he
okay, I
also,
just
but
think
he
we okay
also,
Jason to put the pipe in that he purchases.
he also prefaced that it was 71 with, I don't, you know,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
the worst case scenario, you're
let
shoveling. and-
That's what I'm saying, let's just let,
Like, sorry, we're out of there.
I have a landscape guy that does the lawns and stuff.
just let Jason install it.
Yeah,
He's
let
got one of
Jason-
those
let
little
Jason
things.
make the call in the field, you two coordinate it, you will be receiving the 2-hour charge at the $100 an hour.
Right.
Okay, to pay
Yeah.
for our fuel and our man who's sitting in the machine and whatever wear and tear we have. But Jason will make the call as far as what his needs are at the time. But right now, it's for you two to work out the details.
So I just give a check afterwards to Naomi or somebody for the town, and somebody will give me a bill, right?
Yeah,
Okay, we'll give you a receipt, absolutely.
Got it. Thank
So,
you.
All right, very good.
Thank you, everybody. for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Short and sweet, that was good, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
money go? Like for cases like that?
The black hole,
Yeah.
general fund.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so now I done screwed up again. Janie, did you have anything on department heads? Okay, okay, just want to make sure, because I was like, I asked Jason, and I looked right over you. It's been a day. It's been a day. So, all right, that brings us to minutes. Jason, you all set? No?
We gonna hire that guy, or we gonna do it at the end, right?
Yeah, we'll do it, we'll do it under her
Just wanted to
report.
remind
Yeah,
you.
we'll do it under her report, yep. All right,
Oh, hey, Janine, can I say one?
Janie?
Sorry, I did want to say one thing, and
Yeah.
I realized while she's sitting here, might as well say it at the same time. So we had talked, when we modified the Chase Park fees, there were a lot of people very excited about that, and we said that at the park meetings, we would review the attendance numbers, and then
Yes.
at the following Board of Selectmen meetings, we would talk about those, and tomorrow is our first park meeting after a full month of attendance, so tomorrow we will be reviewing those
Discussing those.
numbers, and then I will bring those back to the next meeting like this, the public
Yep.
meeting. So,
Okay.
just want to say that.
As the ex officio to bring it to us.
Kristen, the supervisor at Chase Park, has emailed Parks and Recs the spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. I printed all the numbers we had as of today to bring to tomorrow's meeting. For attendance only, I'll request from Beth the actual pass purchases, because someone's checked off for attendance no matter how many times they come, even if they only buy one pass.
Okay.
So we'll have two different numbers to look at, and then,
Yeah.
and Beth will have revenue numbers because of how much the passes cost and everything like that. So yeah, we're good for tomorrow night.
Okay, very good.
What
Thank
time
you.
does your meeting start? Because there is a meeting.
We're gonna be we voted upstairs, 7 o'clock, 'cause you said we could
These
meet
won't
at
be here very long.
7 PM. Oh, they won't be here.
There's one quick case special exception, which is no big,
So should we
it's up to you.
delay a little or come
Well, if
downstairs?
you want to delay, you can have a nice cold room, so your nose can run if you sit at the center of the table.
All right, we'll play it by ear. I mean, basically, no one really wanted to reschedule,
Yeah,
so.
that's fine. I just wanted you to know, if you hear us going out the door at 7:20, that you're not upset.
Okay.
You can
Oh.
come down. Okay.
That sounds fine. If
Because
it
there's
works
no
out.
AC in that room.
Right. I'm fine with that. I like warm.
Yeah, you got your sweatshirt on.
I do. Okay, cool. So, yeah, no, I'll tell everybody, I'll let them know that we have the option that we can delay and everything.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, because if you sit in the room and you delay, they'll get out of here.
right. That sounds good. We'll walk up the stairs slowly.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? I mean, Parks and Recs can definitely answer any questions or anything.
Not too many people up there swimming with all the rain?
No, we've been closing. We closed today, early yesterday. One day Kristen had convened and asked if she thought we should close, and, because she was hearing the thunder and there was hardly anybody there, and then she ended up going back and opening because the sun came back out, which is the great,
Advantage.
attribute to having, the
right
supervisor
there.
so close, yeah, so it's
Yep.
wonderful. But, no, it's hard. There's definitely been not very many shifts available
Yeah.
for employees. We have to look into the lifeguard because they get compensation. If they work enough hours, they get compensation for their course of passing certifications. But we take into account the weather, how many hours are available to them versus how many
Right.
they worked, so,
No swimming lessons this year again?
no, we have, I've reached out to New Hampshire Swim NH, and I've never gotten a call back, but, I mean, you hear on the news how shorthanded they are with
Yeah,
even
everybody's
lifeguards and
short.
courses and everything, so no one has stepped forward to offer. We always get a few inquiries, on if we have classes to teach, and we're always willing to host them, always, but it just hasn't worked out with anybody in the area that's able to teach. Other than that, everything's going pretty good. We've had one or two residents, and it's the same every year, trying to get their boat in unregistered. We explain the RSA, and sometimes they argue, sometimes they agree, so, but, other than that, it's been, business as usual,
Very good.
going good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys,
Yeah.
have a great night.
Yeah.
All right, so, all set?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nope, not a problem. Brings us to the minutes of 6:05. Page 1.
I'm almost there.
It's like those services place. Yeah, there, it's all the way at the bottom.
This is June 5?
June 5.
Here we go.
We good?
Yeah.
We good. All right, page 1? All right, let me ask this. Is there anything in the document?
Oh, I read them.
All right. I'll move to approve them as written. Second?
Second?
Move and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. 612? Anything in this one? No?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Move to approve as written. Is there a second?
Second.
Move and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. 619.
Those came out late.
Anybody have a chance to read them?
I didn't
Was that the one
read.
today?
That's the one that came this afternoon.
Yeah, I didn't read that one.
Okay, do we want a table? No.
Good enough of you that read it, okay?
No.
I thought you
I
read
had-
it.
I had it preferred, so,
What's that?
You
I had it
table
preferred to table them.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave them draft.
Yep. And then, that's 26. 1 and 2. Move to approve as written. Is there a second?
Yeah, there's a small correction in regards to where we're gonna run the ad. We did mention putting it in the construction summary.
Yep.
That we,
Yeah, I'll have to go to
but
state.
it turns out we can't do it, so the minutes are actually.
Accurate.
They're correct.
Okay. All right. Any more discussion? Moved, and is there a second? I forget, you seconded, right?
Sure.
I think so. All right. Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Abstentions? 1.
Me.
Can I add, how is it going with the minutes taker? Or I guess, will you talk about that in a minute anyway?
Yeah.
How's it going with the minutes taker?
Today's your first day.
Okay.
She's
Yeah.
probably home watching.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm gonna send her all this stuff when I leave
Yep.
and scan it over to her, but she came home this afternoon and did her paperwork.
Good.
And, she's got a busy week. She's got a meeting tonight, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and she knows that.
We'll figure it out.
So, yeah, her plan is to get them around. What's the matter?
Cold?
No.
So we'll see. I'll let you be the judge of that when you get them.
Okay.
You can shut it off. I don't really care. We aren't gonna be here that long anyway.
Sure.
It's comfortable in here.
Alright, so before you get started on the administrative report, do you want to?
I was gonna do that.
earlier?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna move that we hire Paul Buchanan for part-time transfer station attendant at the rate of $18.50 an hour. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Abstentions? No. Okay.
All right, while you do it, while I'm finishing up and catching up to you, the State of New Hampshire Department of Revenue sent us that's not yours. Do you remember when we used to do the old inventory taxable property forms? Remember you have to sign it and send it back? Have you done any changes, is anything? So, you probably haven't been a homeowner long enough. So what the, Department of Revenue used to do is they used to, send you out all these taxable, property inventory forms. Small towns still do it. If you send it out and they wanna know, have you done any alterations since April 1st? Have you done any
To the municipal
changes?
buildings?
And, nope, and what it does is it goes to every homeowner.
Oh,
But where we have an assessing, we still have to, so I just said we are not doing it. We haven't done it ever since I've been here.
okay.
But that takes 5 of you to sign it.
Okay.
I don't think I handed it down to you because I came in late. Actually, I'm gonna hand, if you guys will take one and pass it down, I'm gonna skip to, the Chief Moore sent you over what he found for surveying quotes. What's the matter?
It says, you said there was 5, there's only room for 3 signatures and a contact person by print. Contact person be?
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann.
Yeah, and it's Mary hyphen Ann, no E. and green with no E on the end. It's like the color. So you guys, did you guys all get a chance to, at 5 o'clock, Chief Moore, sent a update with the surveying?
Yes, I did see that.
So, he asked that I take care of it tonight, if he wasn't around, so before I get too engrossed and forget. He had some follow-up conversations with the 3, potential surveyors, got some prices, and all your prices are listed there. And then it says, to ensure that the project does not become stalled, the concrete must be poured before it's freezing. He'd recommend to go with Meridian Land Services because of because of being tiered to the lowest cost when compared equal services, timeline to complete, responsiveness to inquiries, preparing this and inclusion, a contract of the BOS. He'd recommend to approve it and authorize him to sign the contract.
What's the?
So the
what's
Meridian
amount?
land is $2,000, takes roughly 3 weeks to complete.
Did you read them all?
I can.
I didn't read the RFPs, no, I read the chief's email.
Yeah, yeah, I read all the RFPs, and,
Is the scope of work accurate?
yeah. They're-
Okay.
And I would agree with the chief's assessment.
Okay. Right, that would come from ARPA, right?
It's gonna come from the radio project update money, which
Which
is
would
the
be
ARPA
ARPA,
money,
okay.
yeah.
And what was it again, how much?
$2,000.
All right, move to approve, up to $2,000 be awarded to Meridian Land Services for the purposes of surveying the lot at the East Ware Fire Station for the tower project, funds to come from the ARPA. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Abstentions and noes.
No. Do we need to sign that?
No, you have to, he'd like you to authorize him to sign, is what the email said.
All right, just for clarification, we're gonna roll call the vote. Sherry?
Yes.
Salem? Ricky, yes. Benji?
Yeah.
And
Kevin, yes.
Kevin, yes, okay. I thought I heard something different, that's why I roll called it too.
No, sorry.
Nope, that's fine. Okay.
Are you gonna authorize him to sign it?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Authorize the chief to sign.
You wanna add that to your,
Yes.
Yeah, original motion.
No objections?
No,
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to be a little neater with my notes, so I'm gonna ship them off to someone else.
Right.
Okay, the administrative report I just handed down to you.
Yeah, is that a typo, set Wednesdays at the 10th, 11th?
Oh, it's 12.
Okay.
So on the first one, thank you. So on the first one, there was you guys all were part of an email that we received.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason and I were able to coordinate Wednesday, the 12th,
With everybody?
at 10 o'clock for the River Road Bridge meeting.
Okay.
how many people are meeting on that now?
How many people are what?
Meeting, is that just the state engineer?
Engineer, our engineer,
No,
probably
our
Jason.
engineer's not going to.
Oh, okay. So it's just Jason and the state?
Yeah, and then we were going to, she preferred a selectman, so Kevin was on the committee.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to invite Chris Bolton, because he was on the committee. They both can't come.
The reason, just so everybody understands, the reason that our engineer that we're currently using for the repair, he will be one of the engineering firms that once the RFP is drafted, that would be bidding, so it is.
Kevin, can you drag the microphone over to yourself?
So
There we
it
go.
would be, in fact, a
You
conflict.
should be talking into it, you're turning your head, so I don't think they're hearing you.
Regardless.
Yeah.
It would be a conflict of interest for him to attend,
Okay, makes sense.
okay?
Okay.
So that was what we.
If
were
I
gonna-
have time, I might listen in.
Microphone.
Okay. other than that, I don't have any update, as we discussed before, on the T3. As Jason and I find out information, we'll let everyone know.
Yeah, there was, he did call me, Jason did.
Okay.
We had a discussion about some of the scope of work, but he was gonna figure out where we were at with it, so.
Okay, okay,
We had 2 avenues to go before we made a decision,
all right.
and we brought it to the board.
Okay, as you know, you did part of it today. Right now, you did the surveying award. And then there was a question on 6/21. I received a carbon to an email that Attorney Broth sent over to Mr. Arnold, who is the rep for the Benevolent Police Association. And basically what it said was, this is what was approved in January, and let me know if something was, that he missed or something like that. And he asked him, you know, to please let him know. There's been no communication from anybody since June 21st. So, June 21st is the last I was copied. Mark copied me and sent it to the union rep for them, the police department.
That's
And
not
he's
what we
waiting.
asked him to do, though.
What's that?
I mean, I get that we're a bit removed from, that's not what we asked him to do.
I thought
We
he was
asked him
gonna
to come back to us.
But all he sent him
Yeah.
was what we approved in January,
Okay.
and asked for clarification, because that's where we seem to have gotten off the rail.
Well, that's still not what we asked him to do.
Okay.
Yeah, we asked him to draft a letter, and then send it to us, and then we were gonna interpret it and send it back. Remember correct? Is that
Right.
correct?
I mean, what,
Yeah.
how much did this action just cost us?
Yeah, and,
not right.
and we could have already, we basically already been there, so.
So, what he did was no more than what we did
Correct.
months ago.
Correct,
And there's been no input
right, and what
that
we,
I'm aware of, because I wasn't included.
right, okay.
I can see where he is on what we talked about, for sure, but I just haven't had time
Okay.
being gone.
Understood.
Parks and Rec, there's really nothing going there. Conservation. Solid waste, I know Kevin handed us around the solid waste ordinance. That I really think that we should finalize it and pick a date for a public hearing, but you have to finalize it first,
Can we go back to Conservation Committee items?
yes.
We are almost 2 years past the date that was given on that.
They're waiting on me to do it all.
So I think that we need to hand it back to them. That's my feeling. And there was, and Sherry, you were on the board. I know, I don't.
I'm on the board, yeah.
I don't, no, you were on the board at the time. When
Yeah.
Jack Meany put those, yeah, this board, when Jack
Those
put
on
those
the conservation.
forward and said, you know, we don't want to drag our feet on this, here we are. And yet here we are almost 2 years later, and we seem like we're still dragging our feet on this.
Yeah, because where it's stuck is,
And I'm not trying to, you know, go after you, you're busy enough, and that's what I'm saying is this is a conservation piece of land, and I think conservation should be handling this,
Yeah.
personally. Now that we've obtained.
I don't know how-
We've
I don't-
obtained the quote, well, no, we need to obtain the quotes.
Right.
right, so you had the asbestos determined to be positive.
We tested,
We tested.
and it was positive.
Yes, because it's positive down in Buzzell Hill as well.
Right,
Now, Buzzell Hill's not really into it because of the fact that Buzzell Hill, there's no need for us yet to take it down
Right.
and take money and spend it.
right.
But then, I was provided a list of asbestos remediation people from the state, and that's where it's left, because,
Right.
I mean, it's not really my.
Well, I just remember that, you know,
Yeah,
part
no.
of buying that parcel of property, it was already, the board was already split on it at the time, if my memory serves me correctly, which 90% of the time it does. The board was already split on it, and we knew that the building was gonna be a sticking point, and we knew that it was probably gonna test positive, but here we are 2 years later, and to Selectman Meany's point at the time, there was a timeline set, and it seems like it's been, you know, again, and no fault of the town administrator, but this is a conservation piece of land. I think that the conservation should try and go after themselves. That's just my own thought. We can have a joint meeting with them about it, if that's what it comes down to, but, I think that was pretty well set in stone from Selectman Meany at the time. And yet here we are. So, just a thought.
Yeah. I only thought that Naomi was doing it because she had some contacts. I didn't,
I was given the contact list.
Yeah,
from who?
the state.
Oh, the state gave it to you?
No,
Okay.
I
Oh.
was given it to from a member.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, topic for another conversation.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose hindsight
No,
of,
Wednesday night we
of
can
the
bring
history
that
of
up.
that,
Well,
that's all.
Wednesday night, bring it up.
Yeah, of the history of that, that's all.
Yeah, it's reasonable because the building was a year ago to date that we were notified that the building is
Positive.
not only positive, but the building is being used. It's open. There's fresh beer bottles
Oh,
Kids
yeah,
up
so
there
it
drinking
needs to
probably.
go.
and it's not posted
Right, it needs to go.
and it's not locked.
Okay,
All the windows are broken.
right, okay.
The DPW job advertisement, we have received 5 applications. Nothing today, nothing last Friday. So my question would be, how long do you want to keep it open and when do you want to start interviewing?
Did we say how long we were gonna keep it
30,
open?
I thought we said 30 days.
Wasn't it 30 days we said?
30 days will be this week.
Close it when the 30-day window is, and then we
Yeah, I thought
assess.
That's what we said.
Friday?
Yeah, close it Friday and we assess. That sound reasonable?
Should we schedule interviews for next Monday?
Probably wouldn't hurt, that's our work session.
Gotta review them.
Okay, so just, I'm gonna,
Don't
Send the
wanna interview
resumes out
everybody,
to us?
sorry.
When we get the,
no, I'm not sending anything because it's got social security numbers on it. I can black them out and give them to you.
Right.
I think maybe the work session, we should review them, maybe, in a quick non-public or something, because I don't know, is it something we need to interview everybody if,
Well, out of the 5, one lives without you 30 minutes. One's an hour and 6 minutes away, so I've already notified him. It doesn't follow what you asked for.
Yeah,
If you want to take him.
that to me is an automatic, right,
Right.
that was one that we put forward right out of the gate.
well, I think that's for us to go through them and weed out before we interview, that's what I mean, I think we should review them, because,
But if you put I'll just be quiet. If you
Well-
put 30 minutes on it, he's an hour and 6 minutes
I'm saying, I'm
away.
not saying I disagree that we
yeah. he's
don't
just saying
interview them, but that's why we should
Review
review,
everything.
the board should review them before we ask for interviews, that's what that's what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
what
get.
I think Naomi is saying is that candidate does not meet the criteria of what we said was a radius.
I understand, but
So-
there could be 100 criteria not meet, I think we should go over and look at them.
Okay.
Well, you can interview all 5, that's fine. 5 is not a
No,
bad
I'm saying I
number.
think it's unnecessary to interview all 5, we should just review them to get,
Pick the top 3 or
speaking the
something.
right language, I guess.
Yeah,
No,
all
I
right,
agree.
no, all right, I understand what you mean, yeah, it's
and
just review them and weed them at the board
Weed them
level.
out and then say these are the 2 or 3 or all 5 we want to interview.
Okay.
And I agree, an hour and 6 minutes away is too far, I agree.
So let's pick, you wanna do the interviews the following Monday then?
Yeah.
But again, one of the things we're doing here is to fit our schedule in a very aggressive job market. We'll keep prolonging it.
Well, that's just it, I mean, we could lose 4 of those in a heartbeat because the market's that hot. I have a question, and let me just, I mean, there's gonna be people here, we're talking this Thursday thing. I don't know how long that Reservoir Drive conversation is gonna take. Would that be the night to do the review?
I don't know 100% yet, I can make Thursday, I'm gonna try.
Okay, I'm just asking, if that would be the review, that should be the review night.
Well, so let's
You
back
can
up.
scan those and
For
get
some
them to
reason, I
us,
feel
can't
like
you?
I have.
Yeah, I just gotta take social security numbers off.
So,
I mean,
is
yeah.
that
I just
okay?
have to
Get them all
take-
digitally?
I
Yeah,
just gotta take
send
social
them.
security numbers
And
off.
then-
That's
I
fine.
mean, I
Black
came
'em
in
out.
tonight to look at them,
Right.
so I already have looked at them.
All right, so I think if Naomi can scan them and send them electronically and take off the information that needs to be taken off of it, you know,
Send them out to us.
and you wanna do that, review them that way?
Well, I guess how are we gonna decide as a board which ones we want to interview?
Well, we can then have a shorter, much shorter discussion Thursday night if we have time.
If the people are here.
I think
We
we
have
could
time
review
to-
them next Monday and then schedule interviews for the following. I think make it too complicated, but.
And you had agreed that you were gonna meet regular meeting, work session. You already agreed that when we didn't meet on the
Oh,
3rd.
oh,
So you're gonna go back to back with regular work session, so
Okay.
I thought we
to
were just pushing everything down. It was regular, and the next week would be work session. Because this week should have been a work session, last week should have been a regular.
Right.
And it was don't go, work session, push it all
Just
down
put it down so
forever.
it's
I don't remember what we said.
I can't remember either, honestly.
If there's only 5, and it sounds like one we all kind of agree on anyway, but if it's only 5, I don't think it'd take too long to decide which ones we want to interview, and then interview them the next week. It's gonna take a week or so for everybody to,
get everyone.
So
on the-
if that's, if that's what was anticipated, was a regular,
It's not in your minutes, so you do what you want.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but
I can't remember
whatever.
either. I was under the assumption we did what Salem would just said, we just knocked it down a week.
Well,
That's all.
it sounds as
But-
if we're gonna set our next work session agenda, and I just assumed that we were going to our next work session.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, then?
Do you have anything scheduled for next week?
Yeah, I mean, does that
Yeah.
affect any other business?
What I have for next week is, I was going to, when we got to correspondence, I was gonna, the library expansion discussion wants to occur next week.
Okay,
And then, tonight we got an email about 3:45
yeah, the
about more
expansion,
fields,
yeah.
so I was gonna invite them in for a field discussion. Those are the only two things I had, other than your regular, we're gonna continue on.
I read that real quick, is that in conjunction with Parks and Rec, or is that somebody wanting to do?
Sounds like this was outside the, It's a-
The very first park meeting that I attended, so what, late March, early April, I guess early April, was the meeting where all the sports come in and say, these are the fields we want to use for the
Right.
year. And at that meeting, it sounded like it was an annual discussion of how can we get more fields? And it was, well, you need to prove that,
we need them.
yes. And so what is the current usage, et cetera, et cetera. And so it has been a discussion inside a park.
Because that'll be like a prelude to budget season CIP, because that'll definitely be something on the
Mhm.
warrant article. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still gonna be a work session,
I think it can be a work session,
Yeah.
and we'll put,
and you can you can each have these copies, I'll make
Yeah.
it for you.
yeah, I think that's
Some of
solid.
them have a lot of paper.
Yeah, all right then, yeah,
Yeah.
And
okay,
then you can decide that evening what you wanna interview for the following week if you want.
okay,
Have interviews the following week.
yeah. Yeah, at the regular,
So you telling me that it's closing Friday, so if I get 2 more, is add them to the package for you?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
We can do that.
So is it worth reaching out, because we're talking about how hot the labor market is it worth reaching out to some of these people and let them know?
That
The
would-
board will be making, a decision Monday on,
Interviews.
and we'll let you know whether or not you'll come back for an interview.
Yeah,
This date.
you could probably do a blind
Yeah.
blind copy type to them all and just
Just
say.
so we're not going like another 2 weeks before anybody
Well,
hears from us.
well, yeah, exactly, your application's been received, this is what the board's gonna be doing,
Yeah.
right? Here's the timeline,
We're gonna review them
yeah,
Next
this Monday,
Monday.
or
just so they don't lose, that we don't lose sight of them, they don't lose sight of us type
Yeah.
thing.
And if you are selected to move forward the process, you will hear by Wednesday, the 19th. for example.
Whatever it may be, yeah, yeah,
But the interview's the 24th?
Yeah.
Is that how I understand it?
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, ethics, they're meeting, they have 2 more weeks, 2 more meetings. The other hasn't changed, I'm off tomorrow as a normal, I'm here the rest of the week. Building inspector position, since we posted on Indeed, we have gotten 2 more inquiries. So I've encouraged them to send their stuff.
Okay,
Maybe we'll have that.
Construction summary doesn't post anything but really an ad for a job. You know what I mean? They don't post help
Project.
wanted, it's project-based. So as the next one says, library expansion I had for the 17th.
fine.
Kevin asked that we add this on there. I just want everybody to know, in case you didn't know, we were notified over the holiday weekend for a burial for Saturday that just happened. I know that Sherry, Salem, and Ricky, I was gonna post a meeting and you guys wanna go out on a field trip, but, time is of the essence to get a hold of, A, I couldn't post it in time, but B, I have to give the Dignified Company 3 days to, schedule in the dig.
Yeah. Well, I thought we talked about doing an emergency meeting for that.
Yeah, so I reached out and said to Rick, I'm happy to do what you want. I was gonna go over after the meeting, do it myself. But he said he would come over and get it. So he came over, did it, posted it. And then currently, I got 3 total looking to purchase lots.
So there'll be another one soon. There'll be more, oh no, they're just gonna purchase lots.
You're
so
just
they're not-
purchasing the
Right,
lots.
they're not burying, okay.
Yeah. And then Kevin and I talked too, and he would like, Beth will be here on either Monday, the 24th, or the 31st to do a financial report update for the second quarter.
Good idea.
She's taking over for Naomi while she's out for
Okay.
operation anyway.
Okay.
It's perfect.
Perfect, yep. So probably the 24th would be better than you think? Maybe.
24th, you're gonna do your interviews.
Oh, it's true, yeah.
31st will be your.
31st would be better, okay.
That's fine. Should have all the numbers by then.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so, like I said, we just talked about it before, is correspondence on, I had put it on the 7/17 as a work session. At the same time that we meet next week, I don't go that direction, I have not been able to catch the library to see where we are in the chimney. So I suggested on here that we ask for an update next week at the same time.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think that's
okay?
fair.
Okay.
I see the staging's up, so. think
Yeah,
they're
I
doing
don't know where
something.
it is,
Yeah, I
to be
think the
honest with you.
contractor's making sure that he keeps the job,
Yeah,
so he's,
Plus it's been raining, I don't know if that affects anything.
of course, he got that tarp, but he can't work in the
Right.
rain. But I think he's probably backlogged because of the rain.
I'm sure he is,
With because of the rain, okay.
right.
So honestly, that ends my list.
Okay.
I didn't do anything more. Do we have to find someone to pour a pad for here for the generator? Because we did talk about it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna mention that, because I did ask Jason to look at that generator that you found down there. It physically doesn't look that bad, but again, it's in the back of a trailer, and I was gonna ask him again to dig it out and actually see if he could get some wind in it.
But do we need to find somebody to?
We'll need a pour pad, yeah. We'll
And
definitely, and
I think
remove
we
this
talked-
one.
And then I think we talked about some partial structure for the weather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, no, that unit doesn't need a enclosure, does it? Just
The
needs a
roof
pad.
that's over the fuel pump is what was over it for 20, or however long it was there.
Yeah. But I
It had a
think
roof over it, but
It
it
did
was
have-
open all 4 sides.
all 4 sides, right, so,
Right, it was just gonna be something to keep a little bit of the weather off it.
right.
And the only thing that would have, but like I said, the only concern I had was I had 0 storage for a while, and it sat in the salt sand side of the bay up front for the summer only.
A bit, yeah,
It ran perfectly fine, this new garage, and
yeah.
we got a bigger generator.
A bigger generator, right, yep.
It ran everything but the shop's air compressor, so. it
Well, it'll run everything on this circuit,
Mm-hmm.
so,
That's
Okay.
all, I'm just gonna add need concrete pad and
yep,
partial enclosure.
that's fine, yep.
Yeah, the
So-
only, just in that same vein, I did meet with Jason and just for some, to give him some, I guess, ideas relative to the secondary storage, and that RFP will have that by the end of the month,
Okay,
okay?
all right, good. All right,
That's for the oil?
Yes.
okay.
And Ricky, just on the generator, only thing we need to do is make sure we don't forget to get those additional circuits for the food pantry.
Correct, yes,
Yeah.
yep. And I think that's just a quick move of the plugs. And they actually, they may already be on it, because that was the old PD, and the whole old PD is basically in that transfer
Yeah,
that
just
transfer
have to
box.
double check.
Just
Oh,
have to
those
double
2
check.
freezers.
Right, just those 2 freezers, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
I think there's a refrigerator though.
Whatever.
2
they're all-
freezers and a
right.
refrigerator.
It's all
Okay.
side by side. I think the plan.
So Naomi, you're gonna send us out something for Thursday at 6:30 to make sure that's a go?
I gotta figure out, I gotta get hold of Tony, he doesn't get back here till Wednesday.
Yeah, we gotta get a hold of, we
That's a
gotta get a hold
tight-
of everybody first.
So we won't know
Great
anything
time.
till Wednesday then,
Probably
probably.
Wednesday,
I
yeah.
wouldn't hold my breath for that happening, but
I
try.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
trying to pull everybody
Try.
together in a
We'll
short.
try again, and we'll do what we can, again.
So Friday, Thursday, and then Thursday was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
What if neither one works? Do I just,
We go to the next available
Follow
day.
on
On
back here
Tuesday?
Monday?
Tuesday, Monday, yeah, Monday.
Monday's a work session.
Monday we'll be here, so,
Oh, Monday, yeah.
we'll be here Monday.
I'll see what I can do. I gotta
Yeah, we'll
pull
see what we
all the
can, but, I mean, again, it's just as soon as reasonably possible for
Yeah.
all players.
Well, it wasn't gonna do 2 weeks down the street, it was
Well,
just gonna,
No.
before we shut the, I mean, it sounds like we're pressing up against shutting the water off.
yeah, no, I'll do my best to do Thursday.
Yeah, no,
then
no, no, yeah,
Friday,
we're gonna try and do our best, but
Yeah.
again, we gotta get, like you said, all players have to be here,
Right.
so.
Just that- yeah.
We did have a nice, in the NRA mailer, or magazine, I should say, there was a nice article written, about the visit, because the NRA actually came to our transfer station, and did a walkthrough. It was their committee, subcommittee, whoever it is, but there was about 10 of them, 10, 12 of them, with Jason and Frank. It was a very nice article. Frank gave it to me to read. It was like 5 pages. And there was a lot of positive feedback as far as the activities that are going on up there. So just a shout out to that up there, and the cause they're going with.
Is that under correspondence, is that what you want me to do?
Yep. And I just, so I don't bite my tongue here, tax deeded properties, those are supposed to be talked about in public, right? That have already been tax deeded,
Yep.
that are ours. What is the status on Dustin Tavern?
So Laura I had to send her over some information,
Okay?
because of the fact that we have, I don't know if they're squatters or what you call them.
Right,
There's
that's,
people
yeah.
living there.
People living there.
Okay, and how we found out, it was a guess to find out if anyone who was living down there.
Mhm.
And then it got turned over fairly quickly when someone came to apply for assistance.
Yep,
So I have all them, because they each
Okay.
have to be afforded an eviction.
okay.
So
I just wanna make sure
I
that-
only had one person.
I just wanna make sure the
but
wheel's still
now-
rolling down there,
But now
though.
there's more than one. And there's 3 properties that we're working at it.
Okay, I just know Dustin Tavern has been a point of contention, so,
Yeah, because my intent is to go through the eviction process and put them back on the market.
okay. All right, just wanna make sure that the wheel's still
I mean,
rolling.
you do
there.
realize you don't get any of the money.
No, I realize that, I just, but
You
I'm
only
just,
get the tax money, because
Right.
that law changed.
yeah, but I understand that, it's just, the liability is on the
Yeah.
town now, so
Yeah,
that's, you know.
so she's been sent over the 3 properties, she's been sent over the tax collector's deed, and who, as best as I can find out, because I can't go
Who's actually
and
there.
ask who registers their car at certain address, so
Right.
I'm guessing from my feelers who's there.
Okay, that's fine, I just wanna make sure we didn't
Because they have to
lose
give a
sight of
name
it.
when the sheriff shows up at the door.
Right, I just don't wanna lose sight of it, that's all. Cause I know that's been in contention for a couple of years too.
Oh, yeah, and I think we have to before fall.
Oh, yeah, because then they're locked in,
Yep.
right, yep. All
I
right,
think the market would just pick them up pretty quickly, we may be overrun with people bidding on them.
oh, yeah, I'm sure, yeah, especially for the short money.
Yeah.
All right, correspondence, other business, I know we did receive that email from the John Stark Generals, we're gonna discuss that at the next,
I can reach out until the 17th.
yep, at the next work session, so, regarding the fields and lack thereof, I'll say.
Salem, can you let them know tomorrow that she's put a letter out?
Yep.
Actually, you should
I
know.
thought,
I think she's included.
yep, I think so.
Yes, Park and Rec, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I don't think we got anything else really. Now, we did mention that we got a new contact for the bridge. We got an update from Jason on DPW activities. Oh, you got him. You mentioned the Comcast franchise. I think
I'll
that
see
was
if I
it.
can get that so we can sign that and be done with it,
Okay.
because it's 90 to 120 days before you get a check.
Okay, all right. And I know
And
that,
I think once we get a check, we have to have a discussion about, you know, how do we move forward too? Because,
Yep.
to be quite honest with you, I don't, you know, your cable committee's dwindling, so.
yes, yeah.
How, you know, it's
How
nice.
do you do that moving forward?
You know, I totally agree with having another space to meet, but how do you do such?
How do you facilitate it?
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be a bigger discussion, and there'll be money for equipment, but how are we gonna do it?
How we gonna staff it? Yeah.
That's the bigger issue.
Speaking of cable equipment, could you stick your head in the door up there tomorrow when I went in on
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
because when I went in there on Saturday, I loaded the speaker equipment up, it's a deep freeze in there,
Oh, they've got theirs set then, too cold, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, for the
Because I know
electronics.
it's not supposed to heat up, but that room does get hot fast, but I
Yeah,
don't
I didn't
know.
know if that was the reason, but it's.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah.
can't let their equipment, because all their equipment
heat
gets
is
hot.
Makes heat, yeah,
Yeah.
so,
It's
But I'm sure it shouldn't obviously be an ice box, probably a little bit less than what we got here, but not by much, I would assume, right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's showing nothing on here,
So
I
they
can't
were
tell you.
Saturday,
We just bring the speaker up at the parade.
oh, after the parade, I was gonna say, I wondered, they did get over to do the parade.
We did set the work session pretty much already, haven't we?
Well, yeah.
I think
I
so.
don't know, we talked about it a lot.
We talked
Well, I
about a
think
lot.
I think the first thing, right, should be reviewing, which should be quick, if there's only 5, should be reviewing
The
the
applicants.
DPW applicants, right? Then was the next one,
That was the generals was next.
No, I had the library discussion.
Oh, library
Library,
discussion,
and that's
excuse me.
for the
Then
first
the-
spot,
Yep,
because he reached out 2 weeks ago.
And then what, the fields?
the
And then
field,
the Fields.
and then I think solid waste, and we should probably wrap it.
well,
I
if we
think that's
can't,
gonna be the
I
night.
don't know if it'll be a wrap next week.
No, I'm saying
You're
wrap
not-
the
Right,
meeting.
no, yeah, the meeting will be a wrap.
So we-
Yeah, wrap the agenda.
So we're done by 9.
Because you're
if we
still
can.
skipping, now keep in mind, skipping the first one won't affect, because there's 4 Mondays in August.
Yes, that's
So
fine.
you'll still,
Yeah.
That's great.
You always skip some more.
This guy over here, new guy. Yeah. So, alright.
It was found to be wildly popular.
It was wildly popular, oh, yeah.
My research has proven, yeah.
5 out of 5 board members agree, and would vote again.
Yeah, we'll vote again on that.
Yeah, so, all right, so I think we've got the work session set.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Anything else? I do have one. I'd like to request a non-public under C.
I just want to, it's not a business thing, but I just happened to notice that Mr. Essenwine passed.
Yes, I did notice that.
no.
Yeah, Forrest did pass, so,
Forrest
I
passed.
haven't heard from my daughter, she usually goes up and sees him sometimes.
Yeah,
yeah.
He asked about me there about a month ago, so that's
Yeah.
too bad I didn't know that.
so you may be posting another meeting.
Yeah.
We should recognize everybody's efforts for the Patriots.
Yes,
Parade.
yes.
It was a huge success, I think.
I think the patriotic celebration went off very well.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think all departments.
All included.
Yeah, all
Yep.
departments were well represented,
Mm-hmm,
and their efforts should be noted.
yeah.
I heard the comment, I didn't get to make it, but I heard the commentary for the parade was outstanding.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less out of that
If I had,
announcer.
if I had known who it was gonna be, I would've dropped what I was doing and went just to listen to him.
yeah, he was good,
Yeah, he was really good. He always is,
yeah.
so,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard Neil
Yeah.
Chapman did a very good job.
he did a very good job, yep.
He's
I
been
hope, I
around
hope,
forever,
I
so
hope he
he-
returns,
Yeah,
year after year.
well, I will go next time to listen.
Yeah, can't get any better than that, so.
Okay.
All right, anything else? All right, I'm gonna move that we go in non-public under RSA 91A3, Roman numeral 2C.
Okay.
Is there a second? Moving seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes?
You know, George,
Nah, there's nobody here. It's
Hang
fine.
on.
We'll just shut the switch
Yeah,
off.
shut off stuff.